Good morning. It is Patrick and the people. It is Monday, baby, and we got a good show today for everybody, man. I'm stoked about being here. Let me say hi to the cast this morning. Good morning to Amanda, owner, operator of the Break Room. How are you?
Good morning.
And Chad Sledge, owner and operator of Piercings by Chad in Conway. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. How about y'all this morning?
Man, I'm doing good. I'll tell you what's not great is 19 degrees.
That's what I was just going to say. This weather's insane.
Man, or 14 degrees. I'm sorry. I gave you a 5 degree bump there.
Oh, we needed that.
Yeah, no, it's
Just
14.
like a man.
14, yeah, right.
Lying about them numbers.
14 degrees. That's the temperature today, and it's not going to be any higher than 29.
Fun.
That is the high,
Ugh.
and it's going to be pretty much a mirror image of that today and tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday, so my encouragement is find your warm shit and put it on. Don't leave the house unless you have to, because if you can work from home today, stay under the covers and do that, because you don't want to get out in it. It's way too cold.
Yeah, I had my downstairs thermostat set at 66, and it was 62 this morning.
Oh wow!
But I do live in an old house, and
Yeah,
that's just one of the things.
I
but
feel
yeah.
bad for the people that work outside, like the
Ugh.
construction workers and stuff.
or linemen,
I don't see how y'all do
like
that
for
right now.
Entergy, people like
Oh,
that.
Bundy, I
Yeah,
feel
Oh,
Bundy,
yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, no, especially if you're in some kind of construction field where you're
Telling you,
outside,
man.
it's brutal
God.
in this kind of cold weather.
HVAC
Don't
and
miss it.
plumbers out there today.
Roofers,
Yeah,
all those
everybody.
guys, man.
I
Much
actually,
love.
this weekend, I was driving to a meeting and there was a guy outside caulking a window. And I almost wanted to pull over and yell at him because, I mean, I know well enough to know it was not warm enough for anybody
For anybody to caulk.
for anybody to be caulking outside. Like, what were you doing, bro?
No, that is a faux pas right there. That's going to crack
Faux
and
pas.
not be any good. I
No.
promise you that. So yeah, 14 degrees. That's where you're at right now. Man, what a good show. A lot of very, very good things to talk about today. But one thing that we're going to do in the 8 o'clock hour is I conducted an interview with Jason Gann, Wilfred, the dog. It was a show in Australia, and then it came here and was very successful here with him and Elijah Wood. And what an amazing interview it turned into. I mean, we talked about a lot of different things, a lot of things to do with mental health, a lot of things to do with weed, his friendship with Robin Williams, all kinds of really amazing things. He's got a new documentary series that's going to be coming out, and
Nice.
real fascinating guy. I mean, boy, he has some really interesting things to talk about, and I think you're really going to enjoy the interview quite a bit. I was real happy at the end of it. I was like, man, that was pretty fascinating. I mean, I don't care who you are. It was really interesting just listening to his story and everything involved with the character and his career, and man, just a fascinating person. So you're going to like that. All right, well, let's get to some other stuff here real quick. Some news that we can use, see what's going on. Agencies responsible for security in D.C. say they made some changes for the inauguration and parade now that it's been moved indoors. There'll still be widespread road closures downtown on the bridges, all the ramps coming into D.C. from Virginia, the things you would expect. About 25,000 law enforcement, including the guard, will be around the perimeter. So I guess they're going to make sure we're good today. That's probably all right, Let's see. Stevie Wonder and Olivia Rodrigo joined the Fire Aid lineup. So it's a bunch of folks that are getting together to do benefits to help, with the fire damage in LA, raising money for that. Big names like John Fogerty, Black Rose, Alanis Morissette, Jelly Roll.
John Fogerty.
I love John Fogerty.
That's an old one.
Man, he is an
Hell
old one,
yeah.
but man, he's good.
Yeah,
He's good.
So good.
Yeah.
CCR rules.
Yeah, they were great,
yeah.
man. In case you didn't know, a book about how the world will end was written in 1966, but it was classified by the CIA. Now you can read it. The author was a former Air Force employee, UFO researcher, and self-proclaimed psychic. Chan Thomas is the name. And while the book was declassified in 2013, it's only now available to view. He said that every 6,500 years, a major disaster on the scale of the biblical Great Flood hits the Earth. He said the Earth's magnetic field will suddenly dramatically shift and wreak havoc on the planet. The book was classified because the CIA was afraid it would start widespread panic. I'm not sure why they kept it classified, what that's about. Just one of those weird things that, back then they were worried, oh no, everybody's going to panic in the street over that. Hold on.
They know better than us.
Of course they do.
Well,
Right?
psychics, right?
Right.
All right. Hey, this is good news. Fire crews continue to make progress on the Palisades and Eaton fires. The Eaton fire is 81% contained. It's burned about 14,000 acres. The Palisade fire has burned about 23,700 acres and is now 56% contained. They hope to continue that containment today and get it down. Did you see Dave Chappelle, his monologue for Saturday Night Live?
It's awesome.
I don't get to see anything because I'm working.
No, I understand that. Well, SNL, it was super funny.
Of course it was.
His monologue anyway, but he was talking about the fires in LA and how much damage had been done. And he was, talking about how this is because everybody in LA had nice stuff. He said you could burn 14,000 acres in Mississippi. It cost about $700.
Oh.
Smoking a cigarette the whole time. Did you notice that?
No, Dave Chappelle
I
can
loved
smoke a
it.
cigarette
Yeah,
anywhere he
Dave Chappelle,
And
wants.
I'm like, it's
F you,
New
he's
York.
smoking,
Like,
yeah.
he don't
No.
care, man. He stops and pauses and hits it and
Oh.
everything.
Look, that dude could light a cigarette up on an airplane and
Ain't
they'd let
nobody
him.
saying
Nobody'd
nothing.
say a damn word to Dave
Nothing.
Chappelle.
No.
Now that red dye number 3 is banned by the FDA, the question is what foods are affected? Well, here's a
All
few.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, maraschino
At least
cherries.
here.
They make them a lot more red with dye. Yellow rice, cake and cupcake mixes, Nesquik strawberry milk, strawberry shortcake ice cream, Pez. Who eats Pez? Who the hell is eating Pez anymore? Come on, man. Nobody.
Nasty.
Does anybody really do that?
It's like 5-year-olds, or at least I don't know when my
Yeah.
kid was
Like
that
a first
old.
Oh,
Candy.
candy corn is impacted. Oh,
Oh.
my God. Not
Damn.
candy corn.
I love candy
What
corn.
will we ever do? All right. Michael Keegan Key is teasing a couple of big projects for this year. During a sit down with People, they asked what he's working on. He said that he had a couple projects in development he's super excited about. Both are on his bucket list. One is in the sports world direction, and the other is in action direction. He said it's really different than anything I've done before. I like that dude from Key and Peele.
Yeah.
I like both of them, but Keegan Michael Key to me was the
They're
funnier
so
one.
funny.
Yeah, he's a funnier one.
Aaron.
Yeah, that's a great set. Let's see. TikTok went away, but it's back.
Back.
What was it? It was gone like 12 hours, and everybody
People are losing
lost
their
their
shit.
damn minds, man. It was so silly. I think someone lit an office on fire. of like
Leon.
a senator or something.
Really?
Yeah, somebody lit
Shut
some
up.
senator's office on fire because of it. Some
That is ridiculous.
18-year-old. They freaked out because TikTok was gone for a few hours.
18-year-old.
Their life was over because they couldn't watch 30-second clips of idiots anymore.
Yeah. Could I interject real quick?
Yeah.
Anybody getting ready to head out I-30 westbound, it looks like it's right around getting on to 30. You're right around that interchange, Texarkana, and all that stuff. There is a head-on collision.
Oh,
We're at 30, it's a 30-40
It
split
looks like
or
it.
the
It says
430 thing?
no. It says I-30 westbound I-30. Based off of the video,
Let me see, scroll
still-
back up a little bit.
Man.
Let me see what that street is above the what does that say?
right there. So you're about McDaniel,
fine.
Mableville.
So yeah, you're about
131.
430.
Yeah.
So at the 430 area,
Yeah,
that's
headed.
where you've got a head-on collision. Wow, that's
man.
Yeah.
head-on even.
Yeah, head on
Man, somebody had to get on the freeway the wrong
the
way.
wrong way. Absolutely. Well,
Oh.
and it's wild right there. And I'm sure you know this because you live in the area and I work in the area. I don't know if you were affected by this, but Saturday, I guess it was Saturday, a truck exploded. The cargo, the actual
I wondered when I
Yeah.
drove past it. I was coming into Little
Man.
Rock, and right after that happened,
I was
they had-
I should have been right there, but it was carrying a bunch of Duraflame logs, and there's
No, it wasn't.
yes,
That's what it was,
Yeah,
really?
Duraflame
wow.
logs.
And
And
it wasn't even hot yesterday.
no, well, so some people are saying that the truck got clipped, but I mean, it looks like it exploded. I mean,
Yeah.
it went outwards.
Well, it did
was
look
nut balls.
wild
It
because
took me
when
an hour to get there.
when I drove
That's
past
wild.
it and I saw the
Mhm.
back of the truck kind of blown out,
Yes.
and I was like, well, I don't
WTF? How'd
understand
you
how
do
that
that?
happened.
Yeah.
I mean, because the
Maybe
cab
too
seemed
much?
fine, the
Yep.
truck seemed fine. So I thought, well, maybe something jumped through it.
I don't
No,
know.
that
I don't
scared the
know.
hell out of that driver.
Bro, well, two of them
Well,
went to the
hell yeah, it
hospital.
did.
Two people went to the hospital. I don't know who it was,
Yeah.
if it was, people around him or whatever, but I had to, head into Bryant. So I got myself prepared, you know what I'm saying, for a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
little hanging out in traffic situation. But it took me an hour to get there. And man, and this is, I was grateful when I was passing by it. The world is volatile,
Yeah, right.
but there were, half a dozen or more, and I'm just random people out there helping pick up the
Yeah.
logs.
Seeing
That's
that
one of the
stuff.
great things about, you say what you want, but one thing that makes Arkansas different than a lot of states is that very thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that people are going to help if they
Yeah.
can.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
just who we are. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you are, what's going on. We will stop what we're doing and help you if we're able to. I mean,
Absolutely.
that is one of the things I probably love the absolute most about.
I would agree.
You ain't getting that up north.
No.
Well,
Well,
just
maybe,
a
I
lot of
don't know.
states don't have
But
the
not New
same
York.
attitude. No, they'll
Ohio.
clean the truck out.
Man.
They're picking stuff up. They're
Man.
taking it
Yeah.
with them in
Or
New
it's
York.
a you don't see nothing, There's
Right.
there's a TikToker that I love. She's from New York, and she's like New Yorkers, and it's just stuff that New Yorkers would do and everything. Or it's so funny. She's like, we don't care.
No,
We don't care.
No,
Walk
they'll
fast.
right
We don't
past
care.
it. Yeah.
We don't see you. You don't. There's somebody naked dancing in the street. No, there's not.
No, there's not.
No, there's not.
They just don't make
They
eye
don't care.
contact.
Yeah, don't make eye contact.
The long sought ceasefire between Israel and Hamas went into effect yesterday. Immediate results. Hostages held in the Gaza Strip were freed, as were Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails. Saw more than 550 humanitarian aid trucks go into Gaza with food and fuel. The ceasefire is holding. It was interesting when I listened to it that basically they did credit the ultimatum from Trump with causing that to happen, because he just told them, listen, if there aren't hostages being released by Inauguration Day, there's going to be hell to pay. I mean, literally, that's what he said. And apparently that was enough to make them go, yeah, we believe he might do it. So, they released him. So say what you want. That did happen, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think 98 hostages is how many were still being held. And that's not even counting the Palestinians who had been, captured as well. Elon's on his own now. Vivek Ramaswamy stepping away from the Department of Government Efficiency. Unconfirmed reports say that he's going to run for governor of Ohio. So that's the plan. I think that opening came up, and he said, hey, I think I'll run over and do that, guys. Do y'all mind?
You see that where he's talking about Europe?
I do what now?
He was talking about mega in Europe or something like that. And
No,
they're like,
really?
No, and they're like, mega stood for make Elon go again or something. Go on again.
Yeah. They don't like him right now. During his final full days in office, President Biden issued some more pardons. Most of the people granted clemency were convicted of nonviolent drug offenses, so that's good. Among those, Marcus Garvey, he was granted clemency posthumously for a conviction of mail fraud in the 20s. I don't know why that's relevant or what that.
Yeah.
What does that do?
I'm not exactly
I've
sure.
never-
Not
Okay.
sure. Okay. Hey, this is some great news. On Friday, Fire Department Captain Anthony Hopper rescued a baby from a smoke-filled basement during a house fire in Staten Island. Firefighters got there about 3:45. People were trapped inside. He located the baby in the basement, passed the child through a window to another firefighter for immediate care. The infant, along with 2 adults and 2 other kids, were transported to the hospital. So that's amazing that they could do that. Kudos to
Absolutely.
them.
Goodness gracious.
Tech entrepreneur Jeff Atwood, he's a co-founder of something called Stack Overflow. That sounds like an energy drink to me. Let me get a can of that Stack Overflow. He's pledged to give away half of his family's wealth within 5 years, starting with $1 million donations to 8 nonprofits. He sold his company in 2021 for about $1.6 billion, And so he's committed to giving away again half of that to charity or good causes of different kinds. So, that's good. It's great to hear people doing that. A federal court judge has thrown out expert testimony from Professor Jeff Hancock in a case involving Minnesota's law criminalizing election-related AI-generated deepfake photos. Turns out the professor used ChatGPT to write his 12-page submission to the court, which cited a study that didn't exist written by Huang Zhang Wang.
Stop it.
Play Sane Wayne.
Sorry.
Huang Zhang Wang. And the court figured out what he had
Man, I know
done.
that dude.
Yeah, right. He was charged
Together.
$600 an hour. That's what he
God
charged for his
dang.
expert testimony.
Man.
So now he'll be
Ruin
probably
it for everybody. Stop it.
testifying in his own case
You
now.
butt face.
Ohio State, as you can imagine, tonight, college football national champ will be crowned.
Going down.
Ohio State Buckeyes, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Ohio State favored by 8.5 points. The over/under 45.5 points. The money line has the Buckeyes as favorite. Yeah, I think I do think the Buckeyes should win, but I don't want to tell you that Notre Dame's not going to fight like hell.
No, that quarterback's bad.
They're legit. They're super
Mhm.
legit, and don't sleep on them
No.
because this is not any
No.
kind of cakewalk for either team.
No.
But I do think the Buckeyes get it.
I think they do too.
Yeah. They should get it, and they need to get it if their coach is going to stay. I'll tell you that. The highly anticipated return of Dick Vitale. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
To the NCAA broadcast delayed just a little bit longer. His return, he is cancer-free, but it's going to be January 25th as Duke takes on Wake Forest. But a fall at his home forced him to have some medical treatment, but said he's going to be fine. No surgery needed, anything like that, and he'll be back soon. What else is going on? The conference championship matches are set. Let's see. The Chiefs dusted off the Texans. Texans looked pretty strong early on in that game, and it looked like they might really make something out of it. Playoff Trav showed up big time, though, with a 117-yard performance and one touchdown reception. I'm talking about Kelsey. Game not without controversy. With Texans defensive end Will Anderson Jr. and head coach D'Amico Ryans and fans calling out questionable calls that appeared to favor the Chiefs in the loss.
Always whining.
I could argue that both ways.
Yeah, man.
Number one is when you're out there and you're a ref or whatever, you're making thousands of split-second decisions through the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get everyone right.
No.
Ever.
Even with all this replay stuff.
No, there's never going to be a perfectly called game.
No.
Having said that, we've all learned that things we all thought were real aren't. And so could Vegas be controlling that? Maybe. I don't know. I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah.
The Commanders, man.
That was
What
wild,
a
man.
surprise. Everybody was coronating the Lions
Man,
for the
I'm
Super
telling
Bowl.
you.
They were going to march to it. They were going to take out the Chiefs. This was Detroit's year. It'd been a long-ass time since Detroit had been sniffing at it. And the Commanders came in and said, hold on a minute, players.
Nope.
We're real.
Yep.
They're a young team. They're exploding at the right time, and they're very dangerous right now. I'm going to tell you that. They're very dangerous. If they make it to the Super Bowl, it could be a big problem for anybody. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels led them to the first NFC game since '91. The head coach, Dan Campbell of the Lions, took the blame, saying he didn't prepare his team enough. And that's kind of how it looked like. I mean, they were outmaneuvered.
They thought they were just going to roll them, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, they looked past
Yeah.
him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Complacency.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what happens. The Eagles had a close one with the Rams.
yeah.
205-yard 2 TD performance from Saquon Barkley, almost wasted, but the Eagles' defense kicked in and shut down a last-minute Rams drive and secured a victory. But, man, it was not easy for the Eagles. They barely got out. And the Bills got past the Ravens. I was really hoping Lamar Jackson would get his. I really like that guy. But an Isaiah Likely TD with just under 2 minutes left made it interesting. But a drop two-point conversion sealed the win for the Bills.
Yep.
Now, so with that, the Commanders at the Eagles and the Bills at the Chiefs. That's what you got. So who do you
I'm
like?
rolling with the Chiefs, man. I'm
The
a Chief.
Chiefs over
Yeah.
Bills.
Yeah.
What about Commanders Eagles?
Commanders Eagles. I got to roll with the Eagles, man. I think the Commanders got lucky.
You think they just got lucky
Yeah,
on
I
a
mean
team
they
looking
looked
past them?
solid, but yeah, I think they were looking past them and they rolled them.
Okay, all right. So you think that it's an Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl?
Rematch.
All right. You got picks or
I
not?
hate the Eagles.
Okay, so you're picking the Commanders.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad pick. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
No.
my
why not?
pick is the Commanders as well.
Well, and I was sitting here, I had to like look over and read your computer screen a little bit because I'm still having to remind myself who the Commanders are.
I know. Yes, the Redskins. We knew them as formerly.
My
Okay.
bad, y'all. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch, obviously.
Right, right. Well,
you
and
know.
I was just
Well,
curious.
I like something that, causes me to think a little bit more like wrestling.
Yeah, no, I definitely does that.
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
All right, so a couple other things here that I think are really interesting, or one other thing. So my son, Tyler, my younger boy, he played ball for Champion Christian College. He played basketball for them his freshman year. And one of the guys that played with him, his name's AJ. He was very, very good. Tyler used to come home and always talk about it, and we'd go see games. And the guy was just phenomenal. Well, he went on. He didn't make it to the NBA, but he did go overseas and play ball there.
Yeah.
And let me just share the story. A fourth quarter flourish helped the Limerick Celtics defeat the Indy Portaloy Panthers 72-60 and lift the President's National Cup for the first time. The two sides came into the game at the National Basketball Arena with unbeaten seasons. Limerick was 13-0, and the Panthers were 12-0 in the Division I contest. And it was a real tight contest, but a layup from A.J. Williams, that's the kid that played for Champion Christian in Hot Springs, made it 39-35 just before the midpoint of the third quarter. He had 14 points on his way to claiming the MVP. He finished with 25 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists, and won the MVP.
Wow.
Go, boy.
And he's right out of Arkansas, y'all.
Wow.
Man, give it up for that. A.J. Williams is that kid's name. And
Where are
that's
they
something
playing?
He's actually playing. He plays in Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah,
okay.
he's with the Limerick Celtics.
I
I didn't want to
overseas.
assume.
No,
you
that's
know.
fair. But yeah, he's one of the, they have a lot of overseas teams
They do.
or other teams.
You make
leagues
some
you
money
can play
playing in
Yeah,
Europe
you
and
do.
stuff,
Yeah,
man.
and winning the MVP.
Not in Mexico, though.
Your first year out. It's his first year out, and to go out and not only win a championship but hoist up the MVP.
That's
Man,
awesome,
you
man.
got to be proud. And I
Hell
know-
yeah,
Hell
man.
yeah.
I know his family's proud of him, and just as an Arkansan, I'm proud.
Hell
of him.
yeah, same.
That's super dope accomplishment
Hell
to
yeah.
have in your life, and I hope that he continues to progress and
awesome.
keep going further. I know Tyler was super proud of him. They were texting,
Yeah.
and he was cheering him on, and that it kind of gets me a little worked up. I'm just
Hell
happy
yeah.
because it's cool to see.
Oh, yeah.
It
Something
really
like
is.
that. Yeah, let's do something different, should we?
Good morning, everybody. We
Yeah.
got a lot of folks on.
Do we?
Yeah.
Well, who's talking to us?
Well, obviously Turner, Kristen. Good
What up, Turner?
morning.
What up,
Good
Kristen?
morning. Good morning.
Coda, Doug, Wendy.
Oh, Wendy's in Chicago.
She is in
Chi-town.
Chicago.
Chi-town.
And of course, little doggy.
He said he buys
He buys
Pez
it
by the pound.
That's
Yeah.
not Pez.
It says Michael Kaysen says that truck driver clipped a truck broken down on the shoulder.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I
Okay.
appreciate that clarification because that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
no,
kind
I
of
knew
makes sense.
It's
looking at this
something
as
had to
well.
hit the trailer. That's what was
Yeah,
tripping me out.
yeah.
Hey, what up, Rich?
What's up,
What's up,
Doug?
Latasha?
Darren.
Yeah, good to
morning,
see
Tasha.
everybody in. Good to see everybody in. We really do appreciate it. I got to tell you, I'm super stoked. I don't want everybody to forget because
Yeah, there's something going
it's
on this
cold.
weekend in there.
There is. And yesterday, I was so excited when Laura brought me. She said, "You got
Your
something?"
Amazon package.
Yep, my Amazon package, baby. And I put those wrestling trunks on, and I was like, "You're damn right, I'm going to be rocking these." And I'll put a picture of them up here in a little bit. They're loud as hell.
I got to bring you your chain.
Are you
Yes,
gonna
please.
incorporate them into your everyday wear?
No, they definitely will. This is a one and done outfit right here, except for maybe
Halloween.
Halloween or some
Halloween.
fun stuff around the house.
Can you picture Patrick come knocking on your
We
door?
play a
in
little
onesie?
WWE thing at the house.
Watch
You
out,
never know,
Laura.
you
He
know.
might be trying to
Might
come off the top rope.
That's right. Yeah, you might get into bed and all of a sudden off the top rope. We do have a canopy, so it could happen.
Lord said, nope.
No, we'd probably get my ass beat that way. But
Y'all should get a water bed and do it.
No.
yeah, we got no. We got Arkansas. It's this Saturday. It's at noon. It's a 100% free event. Okay, what is it? Well, there are 4 independent wrestling leagues coming together, and we're going to have 9 matches. One of them is a battle royale. One of them is going to be a scaffold match where they're up like 10, 12
so
feet
cool.
in the air fighting on a scaffold, and whoever goes off of it loses. And then the main event is me versus Jimmy Buffet. Yeah, and he's going to be in this week to sit down in a chair and jaw jack a little bit before the matches, and hopefully we'll have some other folks coming in as well. But we'll have hot dogs. We're going to have plenty of seating available. We have a professional ring set up. We've got commentators. We've got a live camera set up to put that out there. I think they're going to set up a viewing thing over on Odyssey.
That's awesome.
So it's really going to be just a spectacle to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. These guys are really great. I mean, I've met a lot of them, and they put their heart and soul into it. So if you love wrestling and you want to have a good time, I know I'm about to live out my 13-year-old dream, and I'm going to whoop some ass come Saturday. You can bet on that. And yes, I am ready. Yes, I have been, getting in my, my workouts and getting everything done, getting my, practice in.
Working on your promos?
Yeah, working on everything that needs to happen. Yeah,
Apparently
promos will start this afternoon, by the way.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, apparently you've got a custom entrance song that Rich has been working on.
Yeah, we've got some
I'm
really
excited.
cool stuff
Or
going on
Maybe Lou.
for Arkansas. Yeah, no, Rich is he's been working with some AI stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, there's some really robust AI now that will make,
yeah.
just you
Thanks,
just tell them what you
Rich.
want.
Yeah,
and it'll make you a song.
You're destroying the
crazy,
environment.
man.
I'm just kidding. I use ChatGPT too. I had a guy last night request Triple H's entrance song.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't find that on Spotify, so I'm going to work it out in create some sort of like YouTube playlist or whatever.
Yeah.
And Wendy says she'll be home Thursday.
Oh,
Wendy,
really?
are you coming to Arkansas?
Yeah, you got to come out Saturday, Wendy. You got to come out. Everybody needs to come out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I've secured, as a matter of fact, through Little Doggy, my buddy, he had a couple of coats that were suitable for what I need. So I'm very excited about that. And so my outfit will be complete and full pimp style when I rock in on Saturday.
That's
you can
awesome.
bet on that. It's going to be wild, baby. It's going to be wild.
Awesome.
So let's talk about this because this is straight out of Arkansas, and it's great. You may remember when this story happened, but this is an update on it because an Arkansas woman has now been sentenced to 15 years in prison for stealing body parts from corpses as well as deceased fetus and then listing them for sale on Facebook.
It's crazy.
What do you need a deceased fetus for?
Why do you not?
Yeah.
Do you
For the
not
person
want a
that's got
paperweight?
everything. For the person that's got
I
everything.
mean, it makes it
I
great.
mean,
Put it out at Halloween.
Well, I mean, I guess I thought no. I guess you absolutely have a point. For those that want the authentic Halloween
Right, man.
experience,
That's
or like Eric Cartman,
Her name was, or is, yeah, right. Candace Chapman Scotch, 37. She was working at a mortuary when she stole at least 24 boxes of human body parts from medical school cadavers.
Wow.
Now, last April, she pleaded guilty to a count of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and a count of interstate transportation of stolen property. So the charges stem from her selling these 24 boxes of human remains to a guy named Jeremy Polly in Pennsylvania for about 11 grand.
Is that him?
After
Okay.
linking up with him on Facebook, a Facebook group for oddities.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The body parts included fetuses, brains, hearts, lungs, genitalia, a
What?
bucket of genitalia,
What are
Yeah.
you? A
It's
large
Yes.
pieces of skin, and more.
Is he a bass player? He looks like he's in a band or something.
He probably
like,
is, I'm
bucket
guessing.
of
I'd like to know what he was using them
He
for.
had multiple breasts, a belly button,
what?
lungs, testicles, an arm, an ear, brains, multiple hearts. During a search warrant executed at her Little Rock home, investigators found numerous stolen body parts that she admitted she transported in trash bags from her work.
Maybe he was trying to build a wife.
Now, she reportedly, listen,
Good point.
She sold
Multi-breast.
the fetus at a discount because it wasn't perfect.
Wow.
What
That's
determines the perfect
horrible.
fetus?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's dead.
I,
That was bad. Oh my god.
I'm sorry I had to, man.
That was
no,
good,
no,
Chad. That was
it's
really
just
good.
fine,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Just stay on camera. Slide over this way so people know who to hate.
It's
They
right
can
here.
direct their hate at you, not me.
Jesus,
Me,
sis.
man.
That was
Okay.
good. It's Monday, y'all.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm sorry.
At the time of her guilty plea, Polly had previously pleaded guilty to charges related to the theft and sale of body parts from both the mortuary and the Harvard Med School.
Oh, so it's not the first time she's done this.
No, it apparently she's had some problems with it, but prosecutors say that she exploited her position to facilitate the illegal transactions. According to prosecutors, Scott approached Polly in October of 2021, began offering to sell him remains from the medical school that the mortuary was supposed to cremate and return. The indictment alleges Scott wrote to Polly in her first Facebook message just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity.
Hypothetically, I mean, would you know anyone in the market for a, fully intact embalmed brain? Also have a bucket of balls, literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Dr. Rawlings.
Yeah.
Tits and tots in a bucket.
Yeah, we got it.
Good God.
Scott was facing up to 10 years in prison, a fine of $250,000, and 20 years and a fine for the mail fraud charge. She was given 10 years in federal prison for interstate transportation of stolen property, 15 years for conspiracy. Anyway, she's going to be in, she got it concurrently, so she'll be in for about 15 years. And let's see, also 3 years of supervised release, about 10,000 a fine. So there's no parole in the federal system, but it said they said this was truly an incomprehensible and detestable crime. That's the FBI Little Rock agent in charge, Alicia Corder. The sentencing does not reverse the immeasurable damage caused. Well, I mean, it's hard to damage them more than they were damaged.
Right.
I mean, honestly, but I assume you mean to the families.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
But and I get it. Okay, I mean, yes, it's terrible, but it was ashes that you would have gotten. It,
Right.
I mean, so
They just took a couple things out before they burned them.
yeah, you just pocketed the balls and
I mean,
the brains and the
Throw them in your
boobs
pocket.
and-
Throw them in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, this is like was she pocketed just a little bit? Here's a boob in this pocket and
An arm in her back pocket.
Yeah,
sneaking them out in her lunchbox.
yeah, that's terrible, man. What is wrong with people, man? I mean,
Seriously.
how do you think? There's got to be a market for these. I'm going to go on Facebook
I
and
wonder
see
if he was like working on them, like body art on them or something.
No, the guy looks like he was a budding serial killer. I mean, honestly, he's got
100.
half his face is completely tatted.
Including his
One of his
eyeball.
eyeballs
Yeah.
is completely black for me.
Yeah.
He's got his ears gauged out to the level I could put my thumb through them.
Yeah.
He's got the 3 piercings
his
on his
penis.
lip, and then the horn things. What are those
Oh,
things called?
yeah.
Implants in his
The
head.
subdermals that look like metal spikes on a jacket or something.
Yeah.
You
fun
know,
dude.
so
Man.
he's a real special cat. He's one of those cats who would complain that he was discriminated against for hiring, because he
true.
looks like someone out of a circus. Why won't you hire me? Because you look like a whack. That's why. I'm sorry, man. You do. You look like a whack chop.
Man.
I wouldn't hire you to guard my donut, bro.
He's got more face tats than Post Malone.
I would cross the street.
No, Post Malone, I'd be fine with. This guy
If
makes
you
me
were
nervous.
tattooing your eyeball,
Yeah,
I'm
there's-
out,
You're
bro.
bored, man.
There's
I am
something
out.
wrong. First of all, you're
Who
risking
hurt you?
blindness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, point to the on
Who
the
hurt?
doll.
Yes, who
Yeah.
hurt you?
Somebody did.
I'm
I
sorry,
when I
that's
get older, when
body
I get
parts.
older, I want to tattoo my eye. Like,
So here's the question, okay? So I get she's a whack and she's selling body parts, but
She
she's
looks
just
like
tr- she's just trying to get paid. She
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
care.
yeah.
But the dude that's buying them is the dude that I think that's
What I
got the
wanna know
problem.
Yeah.
is, what was he going to do with said body
Same.
parts?
I want to know
What was he going to do with them?
I
What
want
do
to
you,
know
what
what
do you
he's gonna do.
speculate he was going to do?
I mean, what do you? I mean, I don't know.
So I'm looking at him, and yes, he is tatted all the way up, but he looks healthy. So it's not like he doesn't look like he's strung
you
out or
think he's
anything
eating
like
it?
that. No, I think that he probably is a Trustafarian that went a little far in a direction to be unique and rebellious, and he's got money, and these things were probably for display purposes.
Oh yeah, they're probably on jars and
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, he's
You
probably
think he had a kind of
he's got a blacked out home, or
yeah,
he
some
did.
kind of crazy
Yeah.
dark
Yeah, I can
ass,
see that. I can
Yeah,
see
he's
that.
museum
kinda
I
of
think you
sorts.
nailed that, man. I
kind of
think
like
you nailed
Dustin
that.
Jackson, but not. This guy's crazier than Dustin.
Well,
Dustin Jackson's
I
cool
would hope
people.
it was that and not practicing on how he would
Well, whatever.
cut up human bodies
Or
and
his
do
recipes. He
cereal.
might be
Yeah.
working on recipes.
Well, I don't know. Those are pickled. I don't know that you want those. You know, you want.
I don't
You
know.
want
People
it
like
fresh.
that pickled
That
stuff.
stuff's
It's embalmed. I think that would kill you.
Oh, it might
Just
get
add a
you
little
You
piece
could
of
effed
smoke
up.
smoke that
to it.
arm
That's
if it's
what I'm saying,
embalmed.
add a little PCP to
I'm
it.
about to
The
say.
sherm, smoke the arm for sherm. Yeah.
Run down the street naked.
That's just a Tuesday in Sling County. man. Come on.
Okay.
All right, let's move on here. See what else we got going on. Let's see if I've got some things here about work, and I want to see if it adds up to you because it is kind of interesting. So, according to this, making small talk with coworkers comes with the territory when you work in an office, but new research suggests maybe it's a thing of the past or going that way. According to this new survey, it makes younger workers uncomfortable. This is a poll of 2,000 people. It says 74% admit they struggle to engage in light conversations with coworkers in the office. 27% feel more comfortable communicating online than in person. 40% for Gen Z. Does that sound right?
No, it does 1,000%.
Does it really?
It really does.
These kids don't know how to talk, man. They
Nope.
come in and their parents have to talk for them and stuff. They don't know how to
Yep.
fill out the paperwork.
Yep.
Like, it's insane.
No, come on, man.
No,
Oh, absolutely.
1,000%, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know how many times I see a college kid, I say left or right, and they do this right here?
Yep. Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Kids
What
talking
are you
about
talking
getting
about? Left
or right, and they know
Yeah.
left or right because the L's the right way
Yeah.
and the R, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Left
Oh,
or right.
wow.
Yeah.
No,
We
they
do.
don't.
They talking about
It's
tattooing it on their hands. They have to do it so much. I'm like,
righty-tighty,
just learn your
lefty-loosey.
Like, just learn the shit, man.
Yeah, our hard hats are adjustable, and you have no idea how many people when I hand it to them. I'm like, okay, so super easy here, no rocket surgery, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and they stop and they're like,
Huh?
got to ponder it for a second. I'm like, bro, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I see it all
Man,
day,
we do
man.
not need Red Dawn right now. We're going to have to wait a couple generations
problem,
for that.
man.
That
Right
was
now,
such a good movie.
we're in big trouble if
We
Red
are.
Dawn happens because it's the whole people are going to have to do some
Yeah.
scrapping.
I mean, we don't
you
have
know.
Swayze anymore. So
Yeah, no, and I'm not a good Swayze, and I'm going to have to take that role on.
you don't dance.
I damn sure don't. The struggle is so real. 28% avoid going into the office kitchen because they might have to talk to somebody.
Man, I see this.
For 40% of young adults, small talk at work is like learning a new language. Some 27% more experienced with workplace chit chat feel sorry for newbies who don't know what they're doing.
I don't feel sorry for you.
I guess I do. I'm trying to figure out how you get to a point where basic communication is a struggle. I mean, do you not talk at home with your family? Do you
Probably not.
Do you just not communicate? Do you just all stare at devices?
Probably.
I mean, even if you watch TV, you see people talk to each other.
My son will yell or text me as opposed to come up the stairs.
No,
and
yeah.
come talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that age, man.
I'm like, get up and come and talk to me.
I mean, are parents out there? I know there's parents out there. You're seeing this with your kids? Are you seeing this
Telling you, man.
at your workplace? Are you seeing the young people that don't seem to be able to talk to each other? Do they
function?
they're
They
not
can't
functional?
just talk. They can't function, man.
When they come in with their parents for a session or something, they're standing there on their phones, head down,
Yep.
looking, and I'm talking to the parent. And like, even last night with those teenagers, it's like, hey guys, come over here. It's like, hey, I'm talking to you.
It's like they have no self-assurance of any kind.
Mm.
Like they're just afraid to take a walk in the world.
They need to. I think everybody kind of needs an ass whooping. Those early year
Well,
ass whoopings that
yeah.
Man.
most of us got at some point in time for running our mouth about something,
Yeah,
Yeah.
popping off the wrong way.
Some kids are due.
Yeah. I know one.
Yeah.
I know one too.
Yeah, no, I think yours is in trouble right now.
Oh yeah.
Let me stop just for a second and talk about this. If you're looking for a late model, low mileage vehicle, check out Fitz Auto. Man, they got some great stuff, and they're always getting new inventory in. I'll tell you what is pretty cool is some of the vehicles they have you might be a little bit surprised with. Like they often have, like right now, they have a 2015 Porsche Cayenne
They're
in
sweet.
stock. And they're sweet. They're a nice little SUV. It's a Porsche.
It's fast.
It's low mileage. They kick ass. They're fun. If you like the Nissan Kicks, here's a 2020 with about 28,000 miles on it. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
That white Tesla at the top was sweet.
Yeah, they got Teslas. They've got Acadias, Camrys, Frontiers, Sentras, Atlas, Titans. I mean, you name it, they've got it there. And I know what you're thinking is, hey, Patrick, my credit's not very good. They get that. They're their own bank. They make their own decisions. So do you have a job? Do you work regularly and get paid regularly? Have you paid anything on time? Go see them. Just go talk to them. They can work with you. They can help you get into something that you'll be happy with, and you won't be, the kids won't go, hey, can you drop me off a couple blocks from school? You don't want to ride up in that hoopty. Get you something better. You work hard for it. You deserve it, and you can get it at Fitz Auto. Just go talk to them and tell them that we sent you from Patrick and the people. So we spend half of our waking lives at work, allegedly. So much time, it adds up to about 90,000 hours in your life.
Ugh.
Wow.
So not really surprising jobs show up in dreams. In fact, research says 64% of Americans admit to having work-related bad dreams.
Shocker.
Yeah, so let's see. Losing a job or getting fired is the number 2 worst dream about work. Number 1 is being late for work. So do you ever have dreams about running late for work?
No.
No, I don't have that problem
No.
anymore.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Sorry.
Losing a job or
I
getting
know,
fired?
like these don't really apply anymore. Yeah, not really. You know what I dream about as far as work related is like I'll flashback to my golden days, right? The the late 90s and early 2000s when I was having a lot of fun, but somehow that particular place is on like a cruise ship or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it's wild stuff like that. And then I'll have people from my life now that, don't do those things anymore. And then we're all just like
why don't
doing snow, It's
Oh,
like we're
yeah.
just out there.
partying?
Yeah.
Why don't they have
Strip clubs on boats.
yeah, why don't they have the cruises that, some adult ones with strip clubs and things like that? Why is
Might get
wasn't
thrown
it
off.
like
They
a
should. Ooh.
hedonist,
There's always drama.
That's a good point, Chad.
the USS Hedonist?
It might not be
Just
safe.
a big swingers cruise ship.
Yeah, but them
Just
strippers,
strip
too many
clubs
strippers in the area, man. You're gonna have something pop off,
Yeah.
man. Like I've
Yeah.
seen it too many times.
Yeah, you
You're
can't
saying it's
have.
just too-
You gotta
too
have somewhere to
risky.
go.
Yeah, them
Yeah.
strippers are gonna pop off
That
at each
ship ain't
other.
gonna be
Yeah.
big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a lot of
You giving
cocaine on
him a
that
lap
ship.
dance?
You're gonna have
Yeah.
you're gonna have people fighting over who's gonna be the
talked to him
cocaine
first.
dealer.
I
Right.
talked to him first. That's my customer.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
be
you're,
on after that.
you're
Yeah.
probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right about that.
I don't. Maybe one of them rocked ones.
Where's Jasmine? Oh, she's floating in the
Yeah,
raft
yeah.
out there.
Laser got stuck in the soft surf line.
Can you imagine the things that would be in the hot tub? If
Oh
you,
yeah.
Man, I would not get in the hot tub.
Oh,
I can barely get into a public hot
Seriously.
tub.
Man,
to
I
be
wouldn't
honest
get
with
in that
you.
one.
It's
I'm
just
telling you right now.
almost any of them, man. I just think about all the
see the
DNA
herpes
in the
on it,
thing,
man.
man. I don't know what's on it, but it ain't something I want. I know that.
Nope.
All
Herpes
right,
hot
so-
tub.
Ew.
Here's a message that, and I'm not going to name the listener that sent it, but let's answer this question. I'm trying to decide if I should tell my brother that his girlfriend's a big time liar.
Uh-oh.
When he introduced me to her, she said she was a veterinarian. I'm also involved with animals, so I asked a few questions, not because I'm grilling her, just interested.
Conversation. Yeah.
Her answers told me that in no way, shape, form, or fashion is she a veterinarian.
Nice.
And now I'm curious why she would just make that up and what else she's lying about.
Yeah.
Should I
Everything.
say something to my brother?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
You
a
think so?
giant red flag.
Yeah. Huge red flag.
You don't think that brother's going to get mad and go, man, you're just acting like an
I
asshole.
mean, you probably
'cause
would, but
you're jealous.
jealous.
then you're gonna have to be like, all right, lay the facts out. Be like,
Yes.
doom, boom,
Yeah.
and then say Google all that.
Yeah.
Google me, bitch.
Yeah.
Google all this I'm saying and listen to what she says, and
Yeah.
nothing she's saying talking right. Like,
Have
Well, have you gone to her work yet? Have you
yeah,
visited
right.
her work yet?
Yeah,
After
I
we
might
get
need a
done,
follow-up question or two
Photos?
what kind
there.
of animals did you see today, lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do today?
It would be, yeah. That I would think there were more follow-up questions that might clear that up.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, what veterinary clinic are you at?
Right.
I wanted to bring my cat in
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have a vet,
Yeah.
so where you at?
Yeah.
And that probably would answer a lot of that, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, right. But have you ever been in a situation where, maybe you have two friends, a couple, anything like that, where somehow for a fact that one of them's lying to the other?
Oh man.
I deal with this all the
You
time.
get stuck in it, or
Oh man.
I mean, you've had that happen?
Yeah, and actually, kind of recently, I mean, one of the things about the rooms is that they will be just as dramatic as your barroom drama or your strip club drama or your whatever, your high school drama, sometimes worse. And I take offense to that kind of behavior, especially whenever we're supposed to be like doing better, not
Yeah.
participating in those things, right? We're
Sure,
supposed to,
sure.
yeah, practicing principles and honesty and things like that. And October of last year, I got confirmation that that kind of shit was going on. One of my good friends, her husband had a girlfriend, and I got confirmation, like I saw it with my own eyes, because I wasn't going to make any judgment really until,
Right.
even though it was kind of known. And I said what I said. And I said what I said to all of them.
Really?
Yeah, and I said it at our conference. And
You just put it out for everybody, or just?
no, I said it. I said something to the girlfriend. I said something to the husband. I said something to the wife.
Oh,
And
individually or together?
individually.
Yeah.
Individually. And
How did that go?
well, I mean,
Are you friends anymore? Number one.
well, one, I didn't consider myself really friends with the
Okay.
girlfriend anyways, because she was just annoying AF.
Okay.
Just sit down, little girl. And I had my suspicions about the husband. Like, I was chill with him. I didn't want him, like I said, didn't want to pass any judgment until I knew something. And then me and the wife have been down, for like 15 years.
But a lot of women, if you tell them that,
Oh no, she
seem
knew.
to react poorly.
She already knew, because
Oh, she did.
it'd been going on for a while, and she'd been
Okay.
asking, like, is it still going on? Because supposedly, things
It was done,
yeah,
right?
supposedly
They're
things-
always done, aren't they?
right. Supposedly things have been done. I was like, girl, I don't know. I mean, I get the vibe, but I don't know for sure. And da da da. And then I saw it with my own eyes, and I was like, oh, sis. The second I saw her, I was like, hey.
We
Yeah.
gotta talk.
Winkety wink wink, yeah, and it got tense. I mean, the whole weekend was
I would
tense.
imagine.
We're all on this committee together. Well, the girlfriend, the boy, the husband, and I are on this committee together.
Wow.
And
Everybody's on the committee.
oh, there was tension.
Jesus Christ.
And I get a text. It's like, would you like to have a conversation so that we can preserve the unity of the conference? I was like, kick rocks.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I was like, girl,
S&D,
I was like, this is what I think about you, and da 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 da.
Yeah,
And then
that's
all
the big
yeah.
D, B.
There's your
And-
conversation.
And then all these people are like, oh my God, our primary purpose and traditions. I was like, y'all are.
So let me ask,
Effed.
Chad, and I'll throw this question out to everybody too at the same time. But and you can call girl code, bro code, right?
Mhm.
But let's say you have a friend that has been your friend for a long time, and their spouse as well, right? But you're really primarily friends with this person,
Mhm.
but you find out that they're cheating on their spouse. Do you say
No.
anything?
No, that's not my place.
No. So the bro is cheating,
Yeah, but that's not my place.
but you're not going to say you
No.
you won't say
No.
you're not going to speak on
no,
it.
no, if it was her and he was my bro, I would say something.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like the bro code, like I that's not my place.
All right. How about you? What do you think? Your girlfriend is having an affair.
She's got to really think about this one.
Your girlfriend's having an affair.
Well, I think
Husband's kind of a dick to her. You
Oh,
know
then
that.
then
Well,
I-
it's just
He's
hold on.
like, no,
But-
no, it's out
but-
the door now.
But he's in general a good guy, just kind of a dick. Works hard, takes care of his kids, but he's cheating.
Man, I don't know.
What do you do? Or
Does
she's
he have a
cheating.
job?
She's
Does he
cheating.
have a job?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've gone down many a Reddit rabbit hole Am I the asshole or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and there's so many variables and whatnot. I probably would say something because I have been the person sitting in the room where everybody knew but me.
Yeah.
Right.
And that tore my soul because like I thought y'all were my friends or I thought you cared
Mhm.
about me or whatever. Like how can you?
The bigger, the one challenge, the time that I've had to deal with it was I knew them both equally. I met
Yeah,
them as a
that's a
couple.
struggle.
I
Yeah.
met them as a couple. They were friends of ours. I knew them both very well. They had been to my home many, many, many times.
Hmm.
And I was aware one was, and the other didn't know.
Yeah.
And after probably, it took about 2 weeks. And I told Laura, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd tell. I can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it
I
because I'm
can.
gonna speak on it.
That'd be
Yeah.
my
Because
The
that,
I feel
anxiety.
I feel a type.
I feel
I just
like I
don't
would
want my
slip.
friend to come back
No,
and say, "Hey, man, you
Why-
knew. Why
yeah.
didn't you tell me?"
Yeah.
I feel like I would
want to
slip
know.
too. I feel like I would actually like let
Yeah.
something slip, but not meaning to.
I would want to know.
Yeah.
I would want to know if it was being done to me because I've been that person, and it took a lot. I mean, I did a lot of work coming back from that because it destroys my trust. It destroyed my trust in everybody, and
Anybody.
these were people in the rooms with me. So I mean, it really adversely affected how I was able to have relationships with them and pretty much anybody else, and still to this
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Wendy said, "I'd tell.
Yep.
I've been cheated on."
Yep.
And I get that. I can see both sides of it. I can see, well, like you were saying, the bro code thing. Look, it's my buddy. It's not my place. I mean, I can't get involved in that relationship. It's not gonna. That's an issue they have to deal with.
Right. Right.
But the other side is, man, as a human, I don't like. I know what it feels like to have it happen,
Hmm.
and I can't be a party to that. I can honestly see
I can't.
both of those arguments legitimately,
Yeah.
and it is a difficult, place to be.
Hmm.
But when you're just talking about the
Oh, Kristen.
the person.
I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to hear.
Oh, you got ellipses. So it's like
Oh,
Chad. Oh, dang.
See, I'm always getting Chad in trouble here, man. I'm
Chad.
always
I
getting
can hold
Chad.
my own.
Chad trouble.
Oh my own, man.
You do. You're handling
Man, I will
that.
say Friday was such a fun show.
Oh man,
It
we'll
was
go
a
ahead.
fun
I had
show,
such
wasn't
a
it?
good time.
Yes.
I know I'm being loud up here. I
No,
apologize.
you're good. You're good.
That was
No,
so much fun.
it
Yeah,
was.
we had a great
show.
time.
It was a pretty boisterous little
Yes.
program. That's for damn
And
sure.
I like the snippets that I was seeing the other day on.
Me too.
I'm
Yeah.
a size queen.
I had a lot of people comment to me Friday
Did you?
about that, and just
On-
people,
like
people I
on
was running.
social
No, people I
media
was
or-
running into.
Oh,
I-
in
I-
person.
Yeah, well, because I go to the places I go and run into the people I run into, and
Yeah.
and I got some Facebook messages, I got some texts,
Oh yeah.
face to face kind of stuff. I had my friend watch some stuff, and Saturday some folks commented to me, and I was like, "You got to go watch the rest of it," because they saw that clip.
Yeah.
It's like you got to go watch everything after that because it's
Oh, it
so.
was awesome.
Well,
my
that's
God.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
No, it's always good to, that's one of the things was talking about with who was I talking to about it over the weekend? It may have been Jason Gann. I'm not sure, but I was talking about that. When you're doing stand up comedy, for example, or performing live music, you get instant gratification.
Mhm.
Immediately. Did that joke land? Is this song going over good? Are people jamming?
Right.
But when you do what we do,
Crickets.
you do get some comments here and there, but you don't know on a broad scale,
Mhm.
what lands, what doesn't,
Mhm.
what works, what doesn't, until it boomerangs.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's those moments when you get out there and you get that boomerang. It's cool to experience
Mhm.
that and say, "Oh, that's great." It made somebody it reached somebody.
Mhm.
And that's fun, and that makes what we do a lot of fun. So
Oh yeah.
always good to get that kind of feedback. So a couple of weird stories here that they just seem to be contradictory to my childhood, and so I'm trying to
That's
I'm
your
trying
new
to-
reality, Patrick.
I'm trying to accept this. So in Michigan, lawmakers are arguing because the state's Department of Natural Resources is planning to chop down 400 acres of trees to build a solar panel farm
I saw
to
that.
generate electricity.
Doesn't make sense.
They want to
Yeah.
destroy a forest in Otsego County to install rows of Chinese-made solar panels. And then over here, hold on one second because I had another
The
one.
Joshua trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one right here,
I figure some
which
people.
is, I think
chain
is even
themselves to stuff.
crazier, which is that in
effed.
Nevada, residents are outraged because Joshua trees were bulldozed. These are 1,000-year-old trees
Yeah.
being. I mean, U2 made an album
Yeah.
called the Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the
People get
biggest
married
album
there.
they ever made, and they mowed down 1,000 of them to put solar panels
What
up.
the hell, man?
Infuriating.
thought-
Infuriating.
I'm just trying to understand. Help me
It doesn't
understand
compute.
this.
Destroy
I
the
think-
environment.
Maybe I was lied
To
to.
save the
I
environment.
thought we were
Yeah.
trying to save trees. That's been the whole. Trees have been the most important thing on the planet,
Seriously.
other than water,
40
since
years.
I was alive. Okay, trees make oxygen. Oxygen, you know, all the things, the
Makes us
the
live.
stuff, the dioxide that filter
We
the
kind
air.
of need
All
those.
these things, and you're going to get rid of them for solar panels.
Solar panels. You people are
That
weird.
in 25 years, you don't even know how to
It's
dispose
because
of
we're
them.
going to be running off energy, but in here in
What are
like
you
25
doing?
years.
Y'all could be putting those solar panels on top of
Well,
parking structures
right.
and
Existing
things like
buildings,
that. Yeah.
houses.
It's
Man.
not rocket surgery.
All
I mean,
them
look,
why are you-
skyscrapers
Just put solar panels on every damn house and
Everything.
collect it that way.
Thank
on
you.
cars,
You know,
put
put
it
them on the
everywhere.
car, put
Thank
them on the
you.
building.
Thank
Why are
you.
you chopping down trees, you
1,000-year-old
dumbasses?
trees.
You couldn't
People
find
suck.
you couldn't find anywhere else in that state where there was a desert, a meadow, a street that's not being used, anything but trees to cut down to make solar panels.
And those trees.
The Joshua tree.
Like,
You're a bunch
yeah.
of dumbasses.
I cannot
Yeah.
wait for Friday. You're gonna have a really good read about this. Like, I
It's
couldn't
just
wait.
ridiculous.
It is-
It's
it's
the dumbest
ridiculous.
thing I ever heard in my life. I'm like, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm missing the point.
No, man, that's
But
crazy.
I thought we were trying to save the planet and the ecosystems and the animals and everything else. And I mean, you're wiping out an entire forest. That's a whole ecosystem, man.
Yeah.
I have to get a
Multiple
paper effing
ecosystems.
straw when I go out to eat.
I hate that.
But you first are
Yeah.
cutting down 1,000-year-old
No, I
trees.
can't have a bag at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. And
yeah.
and let
Gas.
some.
How much is gas?
Thank you.
Man.
And let some tornadoes come through there. Let a hail
A hailstorm.
let- a
hit
hailstorm or
the
something like
solar
that.
panel and
let's,
destroy
let's,
it.
let's see that.
Yeah, no.
Why don't
No,
they
it's-
make them like bulletproof?
Y'all stupid.
No, it's just like the windmills. I mean, God love them.
Turn
I
your
know
brain
that,
on.
I get that you want to try things, and I understand that. And we did, and it didn't work. Okay. We put windmills over on the coast, and guess what happened? Wells started
Going
beaching
crazy,
themselves.
man.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Surprise! Guess what happened? Birds started falling out of the sky because
Yeah.
they're hitting giant blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Have
was
you
a-
seen the people throw the balls in it and it hit them? Can you
No.
imagine like when the birds hit it and it goes?
No, I mean it just did wipe. I mean, go walk under one of those windmill fields and see how many birds you see on the
Man,
ground.
it's gonna kill
It's
you.
ridiculous. It's stupid.
That's insane.
We're just
man.
doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
We are doing stupid shit.
It's like, come on, man. I mean, hopefully some common sense will emerge sometime soon because we have been deficient
doubt
in it
it.
for some length of time now, and it's really sucky when you look at that and you go, "Man, you guys are just dumbasses, man."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I shudder to think of us mowing down anything to put up solar panels here.
Yeah.
I would be sick to my stomach if you start cutting down the Ouachita National Forest
Right.
so you could drop in a few. No, screw those bald eagles. Screw all the wildlife. Let's put some solar panels in.
That's what they want to
I
see.
can't believe anybody actually allowed those trees
I don't
to
know,
happen.
man.
Yeah, right.
Like I feel
I don't-
like
I would.
how did they had to have kept that completely under wraps, or to the best of their ability, because I feel like if
Who would-
somebody would have been chained to a fucking tree.
Oh
It
man.
seems like a lot of somebody's would.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, it's like going to up to Yosemite and going, let's chop down a few
Ooh.
redwoods and put in some solar panels and windmills here. I mean, what do you think would
we
happen?
lose our shit when
Yeah.
people deface rock.
We lose our shit when someone throws a pack of something out of the window of their car.
Yes.
Man.
Okay, they report you now. Do you know that? If you
866,
throw a litter out
811,
and someone gets your license plate, they can call and
I
you
ain't
can
no
get a
rat,
ticket in the mail.
Chad ain't no rat,
I ain't no
I
rat.
can't, I can't do it, man. Like
Kristen.
I can't do it.
You can't rat on what?
Just any
What
like
can
she
you
talking
not
about,
rat on?
she knew the number for littering like that. I'm like, damn.
Well, because there was a commercial for it. There was a commercial for it, and they sang it.
I
And
just remember
me
Smokey
and
the
my
Bear.
me and my baby daddy used to sing it all the
Only
time.
you can stop forest fires.
And when we were on our way to Subiaco back in the day with my friend Roberta, we would drive up to Subiaco on the weekends because she would have boyfriends there.
Hmm.
We would
Surprise.
I know we created a sign, cardboard and marker, and we would hit one of those signs that says, to report littering or $1,000 fine for
Oh,
littering or
yeah.
whatever, and we would tape it up there. She goes, unless you say oops. And we
Oh,
would just
that's
hit
funny.
these
That's
signs all
funny.
the way
Just
to
defaced
Subi.
it with unless you
Yeah,
say
unless you
oops.
say oops.
That's kind of funny. That's like
Oops.
somebody when we
It
were
was,
talking about the other
95
day who was buying those giant googly eyes and putting them all over everything, and people were getting mad in the city.
I'm doing
They're
it.
like, please stop putting googly eyes on
People
things.
get
I'm
mad
like,
about
why?
that
I'm doing
stupidest
it. Why are
stuff,
you so
man.
mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, just laugh. That's hilarious.
Go
I want big googly eyes. I think they're funny.
get a release. Sounds like you need
Right.
to
Yeah, send them
release
to
some
the break
pent up
room.
something.
Come to the break room and
You don't even have to come to the break room. You can go spend 2 minutes with yourself and a website.
I don't know what you even mean by that.
Or a magazine. It can be killers.
like accounting or something.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
whatever
man.
whatever gets
Yeah,
you
no,
off.
He
that's
said,
accounting.
bang it out.
Bang it
Yeah,
out.
bang it out.
Please.
It's no secret that grocery shopping is more expensive, right? The cost of foods climbed since the start of the pandemic. Research shows that the cost of food consumed at home in the U.S. rose by 21.7% from 2020 to 2024.
Ugh.
21.7%.
Yeah.
So they have come out with a report with the states with the highest and lowest average grocery store prices. So the cheapest grocery store prices in order: Texas, Michigan, Mississippi,
And
Arkansas.
us?
Arkansas is the fourth cheapest
That's
grocery store
wild.
prices in the country.
That really just blew my
Is
mind.
Texas because of the taxes? Wonder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in part it is. Yeah. And they grow a lot there
They-
too as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I don't know why on Michigan, Mississippi, just because.
And Michigan
know.
is kind of weird seeing Michigan there.
Yeah, but it is, when people talk about the cost of living, the fourth lowest in grocery store prices in the nation.
Homes.
Yeah, now at the bottom of the list, Hawaii, most expensive,
Hawaii's
yeah.
going to be the most
California.
expensive.
Massachusetts, and New York. So again,
I
if you
kinda
want to
figured
pattern
Alaska would
yourself
be on there too.
after California and New York, feel free to do it. Feel free. They have the most expensive grocery prices in the country.
I thought Hawaii, okay.
Other than Hawaii. And Hawaii is an island in the middle
Yeah.
of the Pacific Ocean.
No
that you have to
wonder.
take a plane to take stuff to.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't just take a truck. You got to take a plane.
I figured Alaska would be on there too with Hawaii just because of the various
Right,
remoteness
right.
of
You
it.
know, they have a
so-
lot of
but I
booze in
don't know.
Alaska, and I think that's
Booze?
mainly what they
They
consume.
just eat
Booze?
seals.
They don't eat a lot.
Okay.
They
You
eat
know,
like
a few
seals.
They just
seals, a
drink a lot?
penguin, and some booze.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I think,
Polar bears. Have you seen how big them polar bears are?
Oh,
They last
they
a
make me
while.
sad.
I think they're fine.
Dying.
No, they're not. They're just fine. They're thriving, actually. There's more polar bears on the planet now than there ever have been.
I want a polar bear.
until you
You
get
know,
one.
then they want you too, trust me.
Snoot.
All right, so here's something. Speaking of groceries, tell me if you're down with this. Progresso, you know who they are, right?
Right.
The soup company, right?
Oh man.
Through the end of January, you've got just a few days left here. Okay,
No.
a few days left.
No.
I'm
Through the end of
good.
January, they're selling chicken noodle flavored hard candy
That sounds so gross. That's so nasty.
soup you can suck on.
No.
The soup drops look like cough drops,
Nope.
and says they come right in time for the height of cold and flu
That's
season.
right.
Is
That's
there
exactly
mentholatum?
what we want, man.
They said, look, when you're sick, nothing is truly more reassuring than chicken noodle soup. This is the spokesperson for General Mills. Now they're $2.49, and you get 20 drops in a tin, and it does come with a can of actual soup as well.
Ew.
Now the soups, the candies are packed with an alphabet soup of flavors: veggies, chicken, noodles, parsley, all that.
Hell no.
And they have more than I think just chicken noodle. I think they may have.
That one said sold out. They all say
That's
sold
so
out.
gross.
You would not eat that?
No.
No.
You wouldn't have a chicken noodle soup candy?
No.
No, I would like hot soup. Like
I love me
it's
some
supposed
chicken
to-
noodle soup,
yes.
but
Do
not
you?
no,
No, I'm not.
not no
I'm not
sucker.
sucking
Did you
on.
eat a lot of soup as a kid?
Oh yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you.
Wendy hates chicken noodle soup. Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we ate a lot of soup as a kid. That was a
I l-
common thing.
Poor folks ate.
Lunch.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
hamburger helper.
soup and a sandwich.
Right.
Soup and a
And it was
sandwich.
half a sandwich. My brother got
Yep.
the other half.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how it normally worked. And if we were lucky, it was toasted.
Oh,
It was a good day.
That's
It
when
was
you were
toasted.
acting right.
Man.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was
Yeah.
just slapped on some
Yep.
regular old white bread, all
You
mushy and whatnot. You know.
little wet.
Yeah, you know how it goes when you're poor people.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I was
the
raised
stuff
on
you eat.
chicken nuggets.
Yeah. You scrape
Yeah.
that little
The
brown
oven
spot
chicken
off.
nuggets.
Oh, the
There
oven.
you go.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I when I was a kid, they didn't have the chicken nuggets till later.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets, I don't know why they didn't invent them for a long time, but they weren't. I don't remember them ever as a kid.
They wasn't ever in like shapes, but it was just like the little chicken nuggets. Like now
Yeah,
you see
no.
like the dinosaurs and all that. I
Oh, no,
didn't
now
get
you
all
got
that
everything.
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you
got them in
got
all
that
kinds of
chicken
shapes.
nugget money.
No, yeah, but this was like the old, not the Tyson. This is like
Yeah. This is like the bar-s chicken nugget.
The
you can
harvest
barely
food.
call it chicken. It's got just enough
Yeah,
chicken in it to
there's
call
more
it chicken.
breading than chicken.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, I do remember that. Yeah, we had a lot of soup when I was a kid, and we probably tried every kind of soup. And there's some
Man,
really bad
There's
ones.
some
out
horrible
There's
soups.
like a bean soup that's really bad.
Man,
It's like got ham and bean in it. It's
No.
just terrible soup.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
some horrible soups out
Yeah,
there.
what's a lot of the chunky ones I don't love either.
Celery soup. That
Oh,
just
God.
sounds horrible to me when I see that looking in
No.
thousands. I'm like, why would you eat that?
I guess some of it is for a cooking
I was
base,
gonna say, I
like
believe
cream of
that.
mushrooms
Yeah,
and like a
cooking
billion
base.
recipes.
But
Mhm.
still, you know, people still just straight take that stuff.
Ooh, tomato soup and grilled cheese. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Wendy.
was-
that was a
That's a good
staple
one.
lunch
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was a
that
kid.
means you're from the you know
you
you're
would
from
take
the
your-
era.
And what did you do? What did you
Dunk.
do with your grilled cheese?
Dunk.
Dunk
In
that.
what? The tomato
Hell
soup.
yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of pepper on that tomato soup. By the way, that's the only way.
Yes.
That
Food.
salt's good
Yes.
too. Yeah,
Mm.
that's what makes Reese's candy so good. It's the salt.
Salt.
Oh man, I love Reese's.
Yeah. You add a little salt to chocolate and peanut butter, and it gets real stupid,
So good.
real fast.
He said
'Cause that
real
stuff is
fast.
real good, man.
So you wouldn't like my soup then if you don't like the chunky stuff.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what your chunks are.
I know.
Wow, well.
Pause.
Let's get a little.
What?
I don't know where that one came from.
I don't even know.
Just like to just every once in a while, just
Yeah, throw it in there.
just throw that right in there like that. So yeah, let me make mention if I could about Riggin Law. Now look, we've talked about it before. Maybe you have siblings, you have a family member or parent maybe that passes, and you got stuff going into probate, and you're wanting to fight over it. Listen, don't try to do that by yourself. It's terrible waters to be in. It's only going to make you and your family bitter. The best thing you can do is get with Riggin Law and let them help you sort through this so you don't have to be the villain in this story.
Mhm.
You know, the facts are that probate's real difficult, and sometimes people are greedy.
Yeah.
All right. Get Kristen on the case. Now, she does a lot more than that. They also do family law. So, hey, sometimes relationships don't work out, or you have child custody situations and you need somebody that is good people. Look, a lot of times you go talk to a lawyer and it feels so impersonal.
Oh yeah.
It does. I mean,
So
they run you in and out.
Mhm.
Or you see the one on TV and you only talk to their assistants
Yep.
by email. Kristen and her team, they're real people. They're very cool people. You go in and sit down and talk to them just like you'd come in and sit down and talk to me. And they'll take very good care of you, whether it's, elder law, contract law, business law, it doesn't matter. They do all of that at Riggin Law. So check them out, rigginlaw.com. Coming up in just a little bit, I've got the interview with Jason Gann, and I'll tell you what, you definitely don't want to miss this interview. It is so good.
I'm excited about this.
It is so good. First of all, I mean, just dope to talk to the guy who's Wilfred. He
Right.
did it in Australia, and it was so good. They brought it over here. Elijah Wood was in it. But fascinating life story. And what I appreciated about him was he's really willing to put himself out there and be a vulnerable person. And sometimes you don't see that in people of that celebrity caliber.
Absolutely.
So hearing some of his stories and the darker chapters, talk a lot about mental health, talked about his friendship with Robin Williams, just all kinds of lots of weed talk, of course. So it's just a fascinating interview. And I think that no matter who you are or, where you come from or anything, it's super interesting his story and all the things that we talk about. I think that you'll really, really enjoy it a lot. So be sure and stick around for that because that's going to come up here in just, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. We'll get to that. Let's see this. We haven't done it in a few days. Sometimes I get real negligent because we get busy. Here.
This is the segment, not like the other. People do
You've been
stupid
missing
shit,
it.
You say, oh brother. Hey, it's not a copy.
I dream about this song.
Doesn't everyone?
Yeah.
Stuck in my head.
All the time.
Hey, we don't
Give a shit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wackadoo.
Then the news.
Yeah, my favorite part. Yeah, I don't know why. It's so dumb. So dumb. Yeah, so cheesy dumb. This is great.
Got the jazz hand.
If you try to think up a list of maybe unlikely activities, smashing watermelons with your thighs probably wouldn't be a bad choice.
Oh my.
Robert Gallagher.
Yeah, but who's that?
Gözde Dogan, a Turkish woman, has now finally had her world record certified for doing it,
Thunder
having
thighs.
smashed
Oh
5
my.
watermelons in 60 seconds.
Wow.
Shut up.
No.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was so close to the mic on that. What?
Yeah, this is just one of several watermelon smashing records at Guinness, including an Iranian man who smashed 3 in a record time in 2017. Yeah, the same man set the record for stacking watermelons on top of one another. Who knew they were a gateway to Guinness? But 5 watermelons smashed between her thighs in a minute or less.
That's crazy.
Just think about how
A
strong
lot of
those thighs
visual.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very, very strong.
Yeah.
A lot of Kegels. That's all I'm saying. You will
doing-
break.
she's doing
I
those
must
butterfly
break
things.
you.
She does little butterfly things.
Yeah, you don't mess with her. She'll clinch you up. You're in big trouble.
I wonder if she's got like an Instagram or something.
She needs to be a wrestler.
She's like a rascal.
All right. Let's see. It'd be no doubt a shock for any of us to find out we were dead when we're standing right there facing the person delivering the news. In Maryland, Nicole Polino was trying to renew her driver's license. She was turned away after being told she was declared dead. In addition, she's since received a deceased taxpayer notice from the IRS. The health insurance for her and her 3 kids was canceled. Medical bills have been piling up, but she's still sucking oxygen. She said the ordeal has really messed her life up, and she's going through the brutal process of trying to legally revive herself.
Wow.
I'm not sure how that even happens, but
yeah.
what a nightmare that would
What if
be.
somebody like
Yeah.
stole their identification and they
And then
died?
they died.
You know,
Ooh.
I don't know. That's a great question. That's a really good
A
question.
buddy of mine got a DUI in his little brother's name.
Oh, yeah.
And he went to court and played it out and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, never got caught for it.
Yeah,
The
never?
younger brother got in trouble and stuff, but
Well,
yeah.
did the younger brother didn't catch him and say, hey, what's
Well, I
up,
mean,
player?
Yeah, he called him and was like, what's up with this? And he's like, man, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
swear to
player,
God.
there's a
I
payment
swear
coming
to
for
you.
that.
I
There's
swear.
a payment for that.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
No, there's a
I'm
payment.
like,
Yeah.
I should have never
Price.
done that to my little brother, man.
Never.
There's a
How
price
you
to
do
pay.
that, man?
You know, using their,
Never.
maybe
No,
I think
man.
parents use social security numbers of kids to get credit.
Yep.
We got pulled over and he said he just spouted his brother's social, everything out. I'm just like, oh,
How you
know my social, bro?
committed, man. Like,
Yeah.
he did it.
I don't
Oh,
even know
no.
my kid's social.
Yep, he did it, man.
Oh boy, this is everybody's
What?
everybody's sensitive, right?
Well, yeah.
Everybody's
Man.
so sensitive.
Yeah.
When it comes to naming babies, some people choose the names of family members. Some go for stars from their favorite movie or musicians. Others go non-traditional routes. Sophie Kim of Nameberry said a trend has emerged where parents are naming their kids after their favorite weapons.
Oh, hell yeah.
Starting as early as the beginning of the 2000s, parents have been going for names like Wesson, Caliber,
Glock.
Shooter, Trigger, a Cannon, Dagger, Colt, Remington, Ruger, and
Cannon's
Winchester.
cool, man. I like Cannon. Cannon's cool.
They say the parents feel the names represent a renegade spirit, but some, it says, are disturbed by the trend. Well, some can suck on it
Right.
long and hard.
Like your
you know?
name, AK-47.
Yeah, didn't I name him? You know,
Uzi. That's my
yeah,
kid.
Uzi. That's a good girl name, Uzi. I mean, probably not a good name at all, actually, when I think about
Daisy
it.
Uzi.
No. But, I think Ruger, Winchester.
Ruger's
Yeah,
a badass.
Ruger is
Those are cool.
badass.
Caliber.
Badass, man.
Remington.
Kind of cool. Yeah, I mean,
Remington's a badass
Even
one.
Caliber, like, I think,
Caliber's
is like a middle name.
Yeah,
that's
Maybe
pretty
Cali.
cool.
I even like the Smith and like the what'd you say?
Wesson.
Yeah, that's pretty
Wesson,
cool too,
yeah.
it's also
man.
an oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's not another iteration of like Brecklin or Becklin
yeah,
or
one of those
Brantley or
ridiculous
Brandon
names,
or
yeah.
Brendan
I
or
thought
something
you were
where
gonna
there's
say like swords, like the
Hunter.
katana. What is the katana swords and
Ooh,
stuff?
yeah,
Katana.
katana.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, I
That's
thought that's what
cool.
you was gonna
Yeah,
go.
no,
I didn't think
I
about
do like
I
actual
didn't think about
names.
guns.
Yeah, what are some other knife names?
I don't know. I can't really think of them.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good one to start the knife names. Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh.
They had dagger.
Saber.
Saber, that'd be a good one, yeah.
That was one of my favorite
Cat names.
American
Gladiator.
gladiators.
Yeah, back in the
That's
day,
right,
that's
Saber
right,
was
man.
fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever watch that documentary?
Yeah.
Laser and
Man, that was
taser.
dark.
They were all named Laser, Taser.
Blazer.
Yeah, Blazer, right.
That was insane.
When it comes to crazy office pranks, an assistant prosecutor probably should know better. The state of Missouri has placed the assistant prosecutor Tom Hollingsworth on suspension after an email prank backfired, colossally, I might say.
Uh-oh.
In June of 23, he was at the courthouse waiting for his turn on the docket alongside another attorney. At one point, another attorney and assistant public defender left the room and left their laptop exposed. So he got into their email and sent a note to the sheriff that read, "You look so good in khaki pants and that black shirt." Well, after the prank was exposed, the judge pointed out that by accessing the computer, he had access to confidential information. He said he didn't look at anything other than the email. But guess what? He was disqualified from 19 cases and suspended.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you got to know when you're an attorney, when it's a prank and when it's not.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's not good for you. Okay, let's see.
19 cases, bro.
19, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. So, good fences make good neighbors unless they're posting political signs on them. Oh, my neighbor, man, this is so good. Hold on, let me just pause here. This is the greatest. My wife said, "Hey, you got to see this sign. Did you see the banner the neighbor put up?" And I was like, "No, I didn't see it." And she was like, "Come on, you got to come out front and look." So it's a couple, 3 houses down, but giant banner. Maybe, let's say, I'm going to go with 5 by 10, maybe.
Anti-Trump.
No. It's a Trump banner.
Oh, I figured it was anti.
No, it's pro-Trump, and
Figured it was
it's
a pro-Trump.
on Rambo's body with that missile launcher.
That's awesome.
That's the whole banner. It just says Trump, and it's got him with that. It's Rambo's body, the missile launcher, and the Trump head. And I just looked at it, and I just started laughing. I said, "Man, the people who are passionate are really passionate."
Man, they are, man.
Man, he is fired up about that banner. He's probably watching right now. Hey, whatever, man. Hey, it's
Hell
your
yeah,
house. You
man.
do your thing, baby. I was laughing my ass off. Like, you got the Rambo missile launcher? Really? That's crazy. But
he's like one of them Fox News watching people.
oh, for sure. But anyway, Lee Jonathan Farber was arrested for ripping down the pro-Trump sign his neighbor had screwed into his white picket fence and then threw him into a lake. Then they had a bit of a sign war with Farber starting to post pro-Biden on his fence. During the police interview, the arrest report said Farber admitted to these actions, advised he felt intimidated by the signs. He was released from jail the day after he was arrested. Now he has a no contact order with the neighbor. You guys are dumb.
Yeah.
You're just dumb.
Just be neighbors, man.
New Yorkers don't like speed cameras. I don't either, man.
Who likes the speed
I always
camera?
flip them off when I go
Man,
to.
it's really aggravating. Now a group in Staten Island has taken the war against them to a new level using flower power.
What?
A group calling itself the Staten Island Beautification Squad has launched a protest against these cameras using small bouquets of flowers to block the lenses. So a representative for the Department of Transportation said the city's aware they've cleared 14 bouquets so far and said they're actively working with the PD to find the perpetrators.
Have you seen the license plates that have when they flash it like reflects the flash and you can't see the numbers?
Yeah, I saw that
That's
they were
what I'd
using
be
some
rocking
of
if
those.
I
I
had
would
that,
absolutely do something like that.
Yeah.
They have those now.
Yeah.
I was seeing a report about that the other
And you
day.
can they got them where you can put the tape over the numbers now, and the numbers look black, but when that light hits them, they go white.
It all whites it out or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be pretty slick.
Yeah. All right, here's something you don't see every day. And after this, we'll probably go ahead and do the Jason Gann interview. But you're going to like this. A Taiwanese plastic surgeon decided to give his wife a gift. And the father of just 3 decided to get a vasectomy. To make sure that operation went well,
Uh-oh.
Chen Wei Nong enlisted the surgical skills of Chen Wei Nong.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, he gave himself a vasectomy and recorded the entire thing.
Dude.
Using local anesthetic, the surgery that normally takes about 15 minutes took him about an hour
Yeah.
to perform on himself.
Oh.
But he succeeded. He also put himself in the running for understatement of the year when he said, "It was a strange feeling to touch and suture my own urethra." I bet it was, player. I bet it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Department of Health apparently conducted an investigation and confirmed there's
I don't think you're
no
supposed to
legal
do that.
issues, actually,
Oh, okay.
with Dr. Chen giving
If you're
himself a
dumb enough to do it to
vasectomy.
yourself, then you're dumb enough for the
It
consequences,
is his
man.
own body.
Honestly, I figured this story was going to go a different direction.
Oh, yeah, no, it did
Man,
not go that
I
direction.
had a kid call me one time, and he wanted me to gauge his ears, and he was too young. So he went home, and he called me like an hour later. He had taken a hole punch to his ear.
That's not a good idea, is it?
No, man. He was
What
like,
happened?
there was blood
hurt?
everywhere. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's bleeding."
Shit.
I was like, "No shit. Like, go to the hospital."
You put a
Yeah,
hole
yeah,
in your
I'm not
finger
a
with an air
doctor.
puncher.
This is not 911.
I can't help you, brother.
He took
A hole punch,
Oh my
A
like
God.
the little
hole
hole
punch.
punch, and
Oh my
punched that
God.
son bitch.
I
And it was
mean-
the size of a pinky, man.
I mean, first of all, the commitment level it took to squeeze that had to be.
It hurts me thinking about
I mean, that's a commitment, though. You said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm tough. I'm going to do
Mama
it.
says I can't. I'm gonna show her I can.
Yeah, you did it, and then it didn't work out.
I
did
bet
it?
he didn't get it all the way through,
Yeah.
man.
You know what? You believe it or not, I just learned this
Yes.
Friday. You could have put cayenne on it, cayenne pepper.
Yes.
No,
Cayenne
it's just-
pepper.
Yes.
because
Put
it,
cayenne pepper on
it
it.
constricts the
It's the
blood vessels. It'll
Yep.
coagulate
You
it.
should have
Coagulated.
poured cayenne in it. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds just like a fire idea.
Next.
It does sound like a bad idea, but it does sound counterintuitive.
It does, man. Just
It would stop the
throw some
bleeding.
pepper on it. Then throw some dirt on it.
Put that pepper on there.
That cayenne.
That pepper.
Cayenne.
That pepper.
Yeah.
Not pepper.
It's
'cause
pepper.
Pepper
Pepper.
is an inflammatory. Or
Where that pepper? Yeah.
She said, "Take
My
a drink
Cajun-
of water." What
my
she say?
Cajun friend.
Yes,
Oh
just
yeah.
Throw it back.
Yeah. You take
It's
a
not
spoon
burn.
Of,
It's a tingle.
It's a tingle.
well, but you know the interesting thing we were watching about
tingle.
cayenne is it's a superfood,
Mm-hmm.
and that, like if you take chili powder, for example, and you take a spoonful of it and you eat it, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to burn. It's going to burn real
Hell.
bad.
Yes.
But if you take a spoonful of cayenne, it'll burn for a second, but when it gets in your stomach, it doesn't burn anymore.
But she says take it with water.
Well, yeah, you don't want to do it dry. It's going to be stuck there.
Yeah, that would
but
suck.
Oh my God!
But-
Could you
but
imagine a
if you had
cayenne
if you
challenge?
had like an ulcer in your stomach, it would
Mhm.
heal it.
Yep.
It would heal the
You
wound.
think it
in
would
your
burn
stomach.
like hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
crazy,
You
man.
know, and it apparently improves your blood pressure quite a bit.
Yep.
So you know,
that-
you take a little spoonful of it or a little bit in a capful of water a
What
day.
if that helps like a Viagra?
What?
Get
That's a good
It gets the blood flowing.
Oh,
You know what I'm
like a
saying?
Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Maybe Blue Chew. I see those commercials all the time now for
Blue
whatever
Chew.
reason. Blue Chew. Yeah, they're
So
whatever.
y'all got
channel.
chewable ones now.
Well, don't say y'all. I don't.
Patrick
need them.
gave
I don't
Patrick
need
gave me like 3 the other day, man.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
Here, I got a pocket full of them. They're a little warm. You want them? They're like Napoleon Dynamite's
I got him
hot.
some cellophane from a cigarette
Yeah,
pack.
yeah, no. Well, who was it that was telling me that a couple of days ago that somebody had handed them something that was out of their pocket like that and it was warm?
No.
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know
or
what it was now.
something.
It was cheeseburgers.
Oh no.
Dude, pulled out. It gave my,
Cheeseburger in his pocket?
yeah. Or he had like 5 of them in his jacket, his hoodie pocket or whatever. And
Hell
it was
no.
at an event, and I guess they were about to run out, and his mom saw him getting them and said, "Give them to Tyler. Give Tyler those." And Tyler said he took it. He said, but they were like, warm from his body. It was a little weird.
Nope.
It was like,
That's a frisbee.
yeah, no, it's
I just.
no, you know, it's like the dude. Remember in
don't know.
Longest
What-
Yard?
what is
Terry
it about
Crews would always
that?
come out with
Exactly
the
what I was
cheeseburger.
thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
I got them
I got
cheeseburgers.
them cheeseburgers, baby. That's probably one of the funniest things in that remake. That's
Rich just asked the same thing.
What?
He said, "Was it the dude from The Longest Yard with the burger?"
Yeah, no, it was definitely Terry Crews. No, it wasn't, but we certainly laughed about it thinking that it was. All right, so I've been telling you about it this morning, and now we're going to go ahead and play this interview. Jason Gann it starred as Wilfred. He now has a line of CBD products, and he's got a documentary coming out, and he's got a lot going on. So I think this is a great interview. I think whether you're interested in acting in that show in particular, in CBD and weed, in the supernatural, or mental health, this has something for you. And so I hope that everyone will enjoy it. Hopefully it's going to work just fine. Here we go. Let's see.
How are you, mate?
I am great. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
It's
Hey,
been a long time in the making.
it has been. I appreciate your patience, man. It's been a journey to get here, hasn't it, buddy?
Well, I appreciate your patience to set up this date, because I know that for a few months there, things have been really, challenging for me geographically. And with my schedule. So I appreciate your patience. And
No, just they're very excited. I have so many questions. Let me start with the easy one first. Why is everything in Australia trying to kill you?
are we rolling?
Yeah, we're going,
Are
man.
we going? Look, my wife is from Spain, and she, I just moved back here a year ago, and her and my two sons, who are American, had never been here. And yeah, there's a lot of hype about everything here trying to kill you. And she was like, okay, I understand it's not really gonna be like that, but she's like, it is like that.
It kind of is, isn't it? Yeah. I have a friend of mine that lived in Australia for many, many years and moved stateside. And we used to talk a lot about the different, animal life and things that you would encounter there, because it's very different than here.
It's not just the animal life, like the wild animal life, it's the human animal life.
Yeah, them
like,
too, huh?
Australians are a kind of wild bunch. And I don't know, it's something to do with, because I traveled a lot between Australia and America, since really late 80s. But it wasn't until I was flying, and also Spain, or I've been from Spain, but it wasn't until I was flying from Spain to Australia across the Middle East that I realized how far away Australia really is.
It's pretty damn far.
It's like another world.
It really is.
We're so geographically isolated. It's like its own world. And so I think that has something to do with Australians have like a disproportionate amount of successful artists, musicians, actors, sportsmen for our population.
That's absolutely true.
It's to do with I believe it's to do with that isolation and the fact that we are very competitive, and it's like we're trying to succeed in our own world. And so then it's, I guess, a great training ground for the rest of the world.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, the first real connection I guess I had to Australia was a musical artist I liked when I was young. You might know him. His name's Rick Springfield. And he was super big in the 80s, right? And so that's when I was a kid. And so, I knew he was from Australia. And so it was always of interest to me. Yeah, it's kind of a funny world, isn't it?
He doesn't get as much credit as being Australian that you might think. I do remember hearing that he was from Australia.
Yeah.
But when when the top, the hit, you've got AC/DC, In Excess.
Oh my God! Yeah, so many.
There's so many of those big ones that kind of are the top. That a lot of others kind of
he's little fish compared to the big fish that have come out of Australia. I promise you. So, Jason, let me ask you this. I mean,
Jesse's Girl. That song, Jesse's Girl.
Of course, that's a seminal song.
We used to laugh about that. We used to laugh about that song, like in the writers' room of Wilfred. Actually, we sort of talk about Jesse's Girl. It's like, yeah, but this guy, he's obsessed with Jesse's Girl, but he just doesn't seem to have a name. It's like we doesn't even know her name. How obsessed can
No, it's just a big codependent song about a dude skeeving on his friend's girl. I mean, it's not really a polite song at all. But listen, I have to ask you, man. Getting into more in the meat of this, man, what a great character. It's so difficult to break through the clutter and to create a unique character that no one has done, no one has seen, no one's really, experienced before. And somehow, some way, you came out with a character that was so rich and so dynamic and had so much depth to it that it spanned both Australia and here. How did you even come up with the concept of the character?
Well, it was a short film first, 7-minute short film. I remember showing one of my mates the very first cut of the 7-minute short film, and he said it's just you in a dog suit. Like he just thought that was me, right? So
right.
I and then over time it grew into something else. As a stage actor, I played Hamlet when I was 22. As a stage actor, I was really, I guess, a writer in an actor's body. I would create these kind of detailed, very rich characters when I was on stage. And I actually had done like 10 years of sort of soul-destroying children's theatre, where I would be doing 3 shows a day during the school terms, $30 a show. I was doing 20 shows, and I was in all sorts of, I was a duck in this one, I was a fox in this one, the big bad wolf here, I was in all these different animal suits, and
right.
I smoking cigarettes in between or getting high up in the, up on the roof of the theater.
Right.
And that really did inform the look of Wilfred. When I eventually quit that job, I made a promise to myself never to get in another animal suit again, because
you were done. Yeah.
So when Adam and I came up with the concept of Wilfred just as a 7-minute short film, we thought we'll shoot over the weekend. I said, oh, look, I don't really want to get in one of those animal suits again, but it's 2 days. So yeah, I'll do it on the weekend and we'll shoot it. And so we shot it. Now that was 2002. 23 years later, I'm still getting in this damn dog suit.
Right.
But over the years, my love-hate relationship with Wilfred has kind of turned into this sort of something that I have a lot of gratitude for.
Sure.
But just to put a button on to answer the question, it was it was in a lot of the frustration of Wilfred being trapped in this dog's body. Because in the Australian Wilfred in particular, he was like in love with his own in a way, and that's kind of a very masculine kind of way, because I'd noticed that a lot of pets of the opposite sex do tend to have more of a sort of a romantic attachment to owners they've got of the opposite sex.
A little obsessive, yeah.
I wanted to have that kind of like she's mine thing, and so that did that a lot of his frustration of being trapped in this dog's body was also, came from me being trapped in this sweet dog suit that was, not very, glamorous.
Right. So you used it as a sort of a motivator for yourself. The hate fueled you in a way.
Yeah, and when I actually went to Hollywood, and they, he had a mini makeover. Wilfred had these Wilfred feet that were kind of like Snoopy feet that I didn't have in the Australian version. I had a new dog suit that they modeled on the Australian one. And they did ask me, they said, look, this is going to be very hot in this. Would you like, we can get some air conditioning in there? And I said, no, I've got to be miserable.
It won't work if I'm not miserable.
Yeah. So I did definitely,
I can kind of see that almost in a character actor style way,
Yeah, what is it? What is it when they call it bloody, De Niro and stuff? Method actor.
Yeah, that's right. Well, doing that, what to me stands out, Jason, about that versus other acting is you have to have a certain disregard for what anyone thinks. You have to be a certain amount of fearless, because you're doing something that on the surface seems ridiculous, but in context is brilliant. And that sometimes is hard to portray. Because you have to have full faith in what you're doing and the work you're doing to believe in it,
Thank you for that observation, because it's not something that many people really do consider, because it is 100% true. I remember reading years ago, Barry Humphries, I don't know if he was that successful in America, but he had a character named Edgar Everidge, and he said in his autobiography, he said, if you don't feel funny, you won't be funny. and that you also have to trust, I knew by then you have to trust your own instincts as a comedy writer, actor. And so I still remember shooting the very first short film of Wilfred, and we were shooting it as you do out of order. You shoot it in, and so on that first weekend, I was there. There was all this crew that were being, paid $50 or doing it for a favor or whatever. There was all this professional crew there, and the director was a big ag director, and I didn't know any of these people, and none of them knew me. And I was sitting on a set in the dog suit with a bong, and I could see the crew looking at me like, again, I was shooting a scene out of context. It wasn't all in the first scene.
Right.
And I can see them looking at me with a certain amount of skepticism of like, I hope you know what you're doing, because this doesn't, it's not
adding up. Yeah.
And I just had to have faith in what I was doing was right, and it did take a lot of bravery. And for someone that does struggle with major anxiety, that was an internal battle. But it's a battle, it's a confidence that I had brought with me from years of being a stage actor, but I knew I just had to stand firm to it. In actual fact, I had a fight with the director after that first scene, and he was we hadn't worked together before, and he was sort of he was pissed off that I wasn't doing it at a certain level. And I knew that his background was in ads, 30-second ads, and I was trying to explain to him that in the context of the overall performance, the tone that I was giving was the right tone. You can't sell everything in the one frame or the one scene. So and then we had it out and a big battle about it, and then we all had something to eat, and then we continued shooting, and then he was like, "Oh, it's totally wrong."
Yeah, he understood there's a nuance to the performance. That there are nuances. It's not a monotone performance.
Well, another thing, it happened again when I was on the Wilfred set in America, and I remember David Zuckerman, who definitely had his own a lot of experience. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He developed Family Guy, but I remember there being one scene where we do a walkthrough as a dress rehearsal out of costume, and then they'd set up the lights, and then we'd go away, and then we'd come back and shoot the scene. We'd do a read through, a walkthrough, and basically block the scene.
Kind of block it out, yeah.
Yeah, so I was blocking it out and sort of doing it, and a bit of business. And Zuckerman came over. He said, "No, I think this is wrong. You're doing that wrong. It shouldn't be like that." And I said, "Look, you've got to trust me on this." And he said, "No, it's got to be like this. He shouldn't be like this." I said, "Mate," would you walk up to Chaplin and tell Chaplin in between scenes how he should be doing physical comedy? I said, "Well, basically, you're talking to Chaplin, right? So don't, you trust me that when the dog suit's on, I know exactly what I'm doing." And so then I went away, put the suit on, did it, and he came to me. He said, "I'm 100% wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not going to challenge you on." Not to say that I don't like to be challenged on things. I'm always open to that power of collaboration. But when it comes to the world of physical comedy, that I'd come from, that physical comedy from the theater, I knew that I was bringing to it a kind of a Chaplin-esque kind of wealth of experience, that I knew that when it comes to me in that dog suit, I kind of knew what I was doing.
Well, not only, did you have the experience in the physical comedy, but you gave birth to the character. You intimately, of anyone, know the character better than anyone from the outside could ever observe. And so those nuances are in part and parcel you're the nuance,
Thanks. Yeah. Yes.
So, in playing that role, was it more or less fun doing Australian versus American? Is it just different? I mean, how did those two play out against one another?
It was night and day. Overall, I was very miserable during the Australian version. And I had actually created another show and another character for another network that I much more enjoyed over here. And so I had, after shooting 2 seasons of the Australian version, there wasn't a very harmonious set either. So I had decided, we'd all kind of decided Wilfred was done.
It was done, yeah.
And then, he was done. And then I had gone to America, secured a really good agent and manager in Hollywood. I'd showed them both shows that I did, but we were going to go with from a format sense, we were going to go with the other show. And then one day my then manager called me up and he said, I know you don't want to play the dog again. So I'm not getting the fucking dog suit again. He said, but I think, and that was when he said to me, I think this could be your Mork and Mindy. He said, I think this could be like the alien, the dog. Even if the show's not a huge hit, you know, you probably can walk into any room in Hollywood after it. Everyone's going to remember you.
Right. It's going to afford you a certain credibility going forward in the world. Yeah.
It stands out. You know, you're always going to remember the guy that had the balls getting the dog suit.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, and so I said, if you can sell it, I'll do it. He sold it. I did it. And then it was season 2 of Wolf we were writing. And then Robin Williams reached out to me via Elijah, and he was a fan of the show and a fan of mine. And, you know, I was very honored to, and he'd offered to be on the show. And that was when Robin Williams came on and played a guest role, and it was his first acting role in a television series since Mork and Mindy.
Wow. You know,
so it was very, very celestial, very amazing.
Well, let's talk about that, because I have to imagine from, you know, a thespian, B, a writer, and C, a comedian, that getting notified that, hey, Robin Williams not only is a fan, but he'd like to work with you on your show. I mean, that must be one of those magical moments where you just go, is this my life?
It is. And, you know, unfortunately, so much time has passed since Robin is gone. Like, it was like, you know, I connected with him. We became good friends in a short time. And the window of when I knew him was so short, so small. And, you know, there's just no way of knowing that. But it definitely was the most validating experience of my career, and there's been a few, but that was the most validating.
I can't imagine anything could be much more validating. Just, you know, I grew up and I saw him when he appeared on Happy Days for the first time, and then Mork and Mindy, and of course his entire career, you know, and he was transcendent in almost everything that he did. His stand-up, among the most brilliant ever, you know. He was just a tour de force of performance and of brilliance. And so that had to just be a wonderful, wonderful experience, and even more rewarding that at least for some period of time you got to call him friend and maybe, you know, gain some little bit of dust from him that fell onto you.
Definitely. I remember when he passed, you know, being devastated, of course, and I was developing a series for him when he passed.
Wow.
And the morning that he passed, you know, everyone was from the show was posting photos of them, selfies with him from the set. And my wife, hang on a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I just started turning into a storm here, and then the door was slammed shut. So yeah, the morning that he passed, the day he passed, people were posting these photos of them and Robin. And my wife, who's, you know, quite a few years my junior, she said, "Did you get a photo with him?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And she was like, "You idiot! What are you thinking?" You know, she just didn't really get. I said, "No, you don't understand. You know, when it comes to very famous people at that kind of level, it's kind of like it's an honor. You give them a break from that."
Yeah, no, they don't make them be the star. Just let them be who they are.
Yeah, and so I said, it's hard to explain, but it's like, it's sort of like something that I don't do with people at that kind of level. But afterwards, I must admit, I was kind of feeling like, gee, I am an idiot. Like, why don't I just get a photo with him? I don't have that kind of validated. But then it was about a year after he passed, someone from the show posted on Facebook a promotional video that he took that I had never seen before, that it was promoting for the series. And it was like an interview situation when he was on set. And he was talking about me. And he was talking about when he would watch the show on TV and look into my eyes, and kind of by looking into my eyes, he was kind of brought into this character in this profound way. And it was such a, like, I don't know, like a almost love letter from the other side.
Right.
Like, I'm so glad I didn't get that photo. I'm so, like, that is my that was my moment there.
That's much better than
Someone
any
else
picture.
recently said that they saw, I don't know where it is, but someone said they saw an actor's studio type interview where he did not long after Wilfred, and he was talking about me specifically. So I'd love to see that. But
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah, it
what a great feather. Yeah. So, what I know that you've got this documentary that you've been you're putting together, and I'm really excited to hear more about this journey in your documentary film and your CBD journey and how all of this materialized. Tell me more about that.
Well, there is this like connection too, Robin, with this documentary. It's pretty expansive, this project, so I've got to try to think about the best entry point in. The film's called The Cannabis Code, sort of borrowing from the Da Vinci Code in a sense that there is a kind of a potentially conspiratorial thing that I am trying to discover. It's been 10 years in development, and it's about the mysteries, hidden histories, and possible celestial genesis of the cannabis plant. And it really does trace into a lot of ancient religions, cultures that used cannabis as an entheogen, as part of a ceremonial connection to a god or a higher power. And this extra dimensional, extra thing that cannabis has, that having been someone who has, I lost my best friend to suicide 15 years ago. I've had suicide ideation myself for many years, my own depression that I'd battled and overcome in sobriety and rehab. And so then Robin, and of course losing Robin. So to me, I find that with depression, as it's labeled, for me, it's like a soul pain. It isn't so much, I don't subscribe necessarily to it being a chemical imbalance as explained by the pharmaceutical companies. And I believe that cannabis does have something spiritual about it that cannot be defined by biology and science. So I've spent 10 years in development this film and hopefully spin-off series, digging into these hidden histories and it does even trace back to, there's a lot of ancient connection to extraterrestrial beings, extra dimensional beings, that there's a tribe in North Africa called the Dogon tribe, who in their telling of history, extraterrestrial beings from the Sirius star system brought cannabis and gave it, among other, did other things as well, but gave it to early humans as a gift to expand our consciousness. And so when you look at the Dogon, their understanding of astronomy, it was like they knew that there was the Sirius star system was a dual star system way before modern telescopes and science could prove them correct. Also, their way of maintaining their history telling, I think, is a far more reliable method than ours, for instance. So this is all sort of stuff that I am, we've started shooting, and we're going to be going all around the globe in a sense. It's a bit like Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown.
Gotcha.
It's also a bit like Ancient Aliens, and it's also a bit like Carl Sagan's The Cosmos.
It sounds pretty fascinating, and I know that we talk about a lot of things of otherworldly nature and so forth, just in conversation on my program, and I think that maybe theoretically that perhaps while that the cultures that existed before us may not have used the exact same technology we do, I think there may have been cultures as advanced as we are with different technology and different connections to the universe around us, and
far more advanced. And that's what I think is coming out now. I think it's one of the reasons why TikTok's about to be banned, but I think that there's so much information coming out about the true nature of just pretty much how we've been lied to about everything, mate.
Everything, man. Listen, we just had a conversation today about how the food, we have something here. I don't know that they do in Australia, but called the food pyramid. And the food pyramid was the recommended dietary guidelines. It's an absolute farce. It's horrible. It's a crime that was perpetrated on people, you know? So yeah, we're all discovering that maybe some things have been pulled over our eyes over the years.
Well, just as, leading back to the cannabis versus, pharmaceutical antidepressants. I mean, it came out that they came clean. Big Pharma came clean a couple of years ago and said that the whole chemical imbalance theory, which was serotonin related, it's a chemical imbalance, and we're going to balance the imbalance with taking these drugs. It was a marketing campaign. It was a slogan. It was not based on any kind of fact. Yet still 80% of people when questioned still think that it's because of chemical imbalance, and doctors are still prescribing pharmaceutical antidepressants with the advice that it's a chemical imbalance. And even though they came clean about the genesis of that marketing campaign and that it wasn't based in fact, that made no effort to re-educate society.
No.
And then meanwhile, you've got this plant medicine, proven life-saving, fundamental plant medicine that's still being constantly demonized, stigmatized, and then when you add the industrial hemp element as well, we've got this plant that can really literally save our planet, save humanity, and that's a big part behind the show is the suicide epidemic, and just that I believe and have for a long time that there's this, my pain comes from the soul pain. It comes from a disconnection, and that the highest rate, the biggest cause of death in Australia, ages 15 to 44, is suicide. Where my wife's from, in Spain, it's motor accidents. So you've got these two different cultures. That you got a culture that people want to get out of here so much they're willing to kill themselves to get out. There's so much pain, and I think that what happened was, with the failure of organized religion, it's less this where people used to sort of devote themselves to and have this higher connection to something greater. It's left this hole in everyone's souls, and out of despair, they just need to escape the pain. And so I hope to inspire people in a way that, say Carl Sagan's The Cosmos did, as opposed to Degrassi's version of The Cosmos, which I found very didactic, condescending, and lecturing. Carl Sagan, who actually coincidentally also spoke about the spirituality of cannabis, and he's one of the only other people that I've ever read has done that. But I used to go and read and watch his show, even though it was in the late 80s, his 70s show at the public library. I'd get high and I'd watch it, and it just filled me with inspiration, excitement, and wonder. And the nature of that show was it was a journey of discovery, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do with this show. I'm trying to inspire people. I'm not trying to say it's one thing or the other. I do want to call out the big pharma, but also I'm the whole extraterrestrial thing for me is I've been an ancient astronaut theory for most of my life, and in 1998 I actually had a direct encounter with extraterrestrial, I believe subterrestrial, but definitely interdimensional beings, right? Where I felt like I was actually almost killed or abducted, and it was a situation that definitely shaped my life, and I spent the next 20 years of my life trying to find out what these things were. So I became a very, very knowledgeable about extraterrestrial, the Anunnaki and everything, because I was specifically trying to find these particular beings that I encountered, and I never really did find out. So that's why when I read about, the Dogon tribes saying that cannabis was brought here by extraterrestrials, for me it was absolutely no stretch of the imagination, because I've had direct relations with interdimensional, subterrestrial, extraterrestrial beings. So that is, and I make no secret of that in the show. I come out from the front. This is where I'm coming from. But the show is very science. I look for the scientific answer for everything.
It sounds like
stuff.
It sounds like a really good recipe for a very fascinating program. It hits all the buttons that I'm interested in as a viewer. And I do think that's interesting. You're talking about big pharma, and I do think that I think people are finally starting to wake up, but there's a lot of work to do. You know, we've called Alzheimer's a memory disease for a long time, but the truth is, and everybody knows now, it's really diabetes type 3. That's what causes Alzheimer's. You know,
I know.
a lot of it is
Yeah.
genetic, and so these antidepressants, for example, it really has nothing to do with serotonin in that regard. All that does is try to level out a little bit, but that's stupid. It doesn't address the issue, and that's what you're talking about. You're talking about what the real issues are, not what they tell you the issue is.
Yeah. You know, I you know, every second day, someone reaches out to me, some fan that says, "Thank you." You know, some people say, actually, this show and character saved their life. But many people, like, you got me through the grief of the death of my father, or the death of my dog, or you got me through the hardest part of my life. And so I've just got to plug this computer. I'm sorry again.
No, you're good. You're just fine, man. You're just fine.
I don't want to run out of batteries.
All right. Good enough. Good enough.
So yeah, like I remember kind of deciding when I was in the bloody 90s, and I was dealing with chronic depression then, and I have for most of my life. Deciding that God had made a decision that I was meant to live my life in a state of constant, perpetual suffering, so that I may help heal other people's suffering with my comedy, right, and my creative voice, which was sort of a lot to carry on my shoulders as a guy in his young his 20s, but it's the only thing that made sense to me. And honestly, and now at age 53, I don't really feel that much differently. I think that maybe I was kind of close to it, and I feel that, like, I heard someone say that only broken people can really heal other broken people. And when I spent some time in rehab in Tennessee, there in Nashville, not far from you, you'd notice that the people that were in there with with those patients are former addicts. They're all people that have done it. Because they're the only people that really have that understanding, that compassion.
My father, I somewhat understand what you're saying, because my father, when he passed away, he was 34 years sober. And he spent his entire life, every day of his life, the rest of his life, keeping himself sober simply by helping others to obtain sobriety. That was his entire mission in life, and so I watched him, throughout my life, regardless of how he was a dad or anything else, just as a human being dealing with his own, negatives and using it as a positive to help others. And so I do understand. I've seen that journey in a man before, and it's a powerful journey. It's a powerful thing. And you are right. If you haven't been there, you can't help. If you don't know how it's cooked, you can't tell them the recipe.
Yeah. So I've felt ever since I was a young boy, and part of what I did deal with in that treatment center, it did focus on early childhood trauma and PTSD, and so in those difficult years, in those sort of late adolescent, early teen years for me, I was very introspective, very deep thinker. Spent a lot of time in isolation, a lot of time in hiding. And in that time, I did hear a voice that did send me on a calling of sorts, and I felt that when I did Wilfred, that was the call. Like, I felt, okay, this was what that voice was telling me that I was going to do when I was 12 years old. But now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I feel that this was it. Like that Wilfred was the way that I enter it. Like Wilfred it becomes unintentionally this cannabis cult figure. And now this, and also dealing with the mental health stuff that, going back to your question earlier about the different versions of Australia and America, there was none of that in the Australian version. It was just all about the comedy.
Right.
Then when we did the American version, suddenly it became a show about mental health.
Yes.
And then it was unintentional, but so many things in life seem unintentional.
But in a manner of speaking, it's like you did the pre-work and you created your own gate into the next chapter. Your character has been leveraged to bring people to the message that you really want to deliver.
Yeah.
And that's a great conduit. I mean, I get that there had to be moments where you never wanted to put that thing on again. You never wanted to see it again. Never wanted to hear the name Wilfred again. Probably drove you crazy. You probably felt pigeonholed, you felt typecast. You felt stuck at times. But now I think on the other side of that, I look at, how it prepared you for what you're doing now and how it set the table for all the people who are going to come and see what you're doing now. And that's a cool thing, really,
Yeah, it was. Thank you. There was a specific moment that always I was aware of when it happened. I mentioned before to you it was Garrett.
Gunner. Yeah.
That I spent some time in rehab in between the pilot and the series, going to shooting the series. And when I came out, I was pretty newly sober, so I had a lot of intense anxiety. There was this whole feeling, as you said, about the bravery of like, I was one thing to make a fool of myself in Australia, but now I'm about to make a fool of myself in front of the whole world. I was kind of terrified.
I bet.
Of what I'd signed up for. And I went, and I had also made a decision years ago, I didn't want to get in one of those suits again. And now here I am signed on for 6 years. And so I turned up on the very first day of the promotional shooting, and it's the famous shot of when Wolf was, if you Google Wilfred photos, the images come out the window. I'm yelling at someone out of the car window. And I turned up that morning, and I was in this beautiful trailer, and I saw the dog suit hanging up there, and just filled me full of dread. And I thought, I don't want to get in that dog suit again once. How do I do this for 6 years, 13 episodes? How do I do this? I thought, can I just get in my car and drive across America and just not do it? Like, what can I do here? And I'd recently had that spiritual awakening in Tennessee, and I got down on my knees and I said out loud, God, please help me find a way to love this.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened at the time. They knocked on the door. Jason, time to go. I went out there, and as I'm walking through the crowd, the crew all like, hey, Wilfred. But I'm just like filled with anxiety and suffering. I'm like, I shoot the first setup. And as they say, okay, Jason, you can go and take 5 minutes, half an hour, we'll call you for the next setup. This guy comes up to me. We're on Venice Beach, and he was an Australian guy. I think I'd seen him in the background. He came up to me and he said, mate, I had no idea you're over here. He said, I'm over here on holidays on Venice. I walked in, I see you here in the car. Mate, you keep going. You make a lot of people happy. You keep going. And I went, that's the answer.
That was it.
That's me. This is the way I love it.
Yeah.
Is remember the people that I'm doing this for. And so every time I was shooting that thing, and I would be in between scenes sometimes, I ripped that bloody head off and I'd throw it. I'm to get this thing off.
Yeah.
But every time I'd put it on again, I'd be like, this is for them. And now they are the ones that put food on my family's table now.
Right.
The cannabis. They're the ones that are like coming out and like saying, yeah, they're buying my stuff at, in times when I need this. So it was a really, it was a spiritual experience.
Yeah. It's, it's always hard to see forward, but much easier to see backwards, isn't it? And when you begin to unpack it and you look at all of the components together and you go, man, there was a map here. I just didn't know it. There was a map. I just wasn't aware I was following it.
Right.
But you were. Yeah. And you still are. And that's the great thing. You're still following the map now. And except now you're more cognizant. you're more aware, you're more determined, you're more seasoned, you're wiser, and you have something of substance you want to share. And that's awesome. You know, that's great. That is great, man.
Yeah, thanks. It's funny, this relationship you have with an audience. Like I knew from my theater days, you know, there it's instant. You know, you'd have this relationship and you feel them, and they feel each performance is a bit different, and you know, you can gauge, you know how they're going to feel about a certain thing. But when I do Wilfred, like I did feel like I knew my audience even before the show had gone to air. And there were times where, you know, I'd shoot certain scenes in particular that I knew would just get them in the heart, you know, like I knew that I had them with the comedy, and this is just going to rip it out. Oh, they're going to feel a certain thing.
Yeah.
And I'd come off, you know, I'd take my suit off and I'd feel it. I'm like, oh, you think this, you know? And then years later, I haven't seen the show since I did it. The way I experience it now is through other people's memories, and they tell me their favorite bits, and I'm like, yeah. And I just go, isn't that funny? Like they're talking about how they felt this certain thing, and it's like, yeah, I felt it with you before you saw it.
Yeah.
So the time ceases to exist in a way. The relationship between me and the audience still happened, and it's still happening.
Yes, no, that's exactly right. You know, I didn't do theater, but I did do stand-up comedy. And so I became very used to that instant reaction, right? And so when I got into broadcast, there's not an instant there. You know, it's going out over the air, and maybe they like it, maybe they don't. You know, I don't know until somebody says something. But over the years, much like yourself, the boomerang, the echoes come back in. And you go, wow, that really did reach somebody. It really did matter to someone, you know, and that's a real validating feeling to know that you mattered to somebody. Well, you did the work you did, the words you used, the choices you made mattered. You know, they really, really mattered in a more substantive way than any dollar or building or car could ever deliver to you. You know what I mean? And so that's awesome. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Well, look, let me do this, because I know you have other things to do. You have a family, you have a life. So if people want to know more about you, they want to know more about your CBD, they want to know more about your documentary, where do they need to go, Jason? Tell them where to go.
Well, I guess the first place to always see what I'm doing is at Wilfred on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm most active there. When it comes to the brand, wilfredcbd.com. At wilfredcbd.com, there's a contact area. It's like a mailing list. And I've kind of I'm shadow brand, I don't know, 3 different levels by now, because I'm pretty open about the cannabis stuff there, and I'm constantly so I know that I'm like, only reach when my content's only reaching a very small percentage of my followers, but they can follow me still on there. So it's at Wilfred at Instagram, Wilfred TV Dog on Facebook, but the reliable one is wilfredcbd.com. Join my contact list, you're on my mailing list, and that way, if all my sites get shut down, you know, you'll always be on the Wilfred mailing list, and anything important I love that.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. And I know that my audience in particular is right in the wheelhouse of your demographic. They're the folks who, you know, are going to embrace not only, you know, the CBD and all of that, but I think they'll really embrace the documentary and the show and the journey that you're on. That's who my people are. And so I'm hopeful that we'll deliver you a lot of new fans, in addition to re-energizing some other fans as well, you know?
Well, we are, as part of the film, plan to spend a bit of time in Tennessee, you know, visiting the Chattanooga, where our grow is and fulfillment center.
Yeah, that's great.
Also, you know, as part of the journey in the cannabis code, you know, it does follow my journey a little bit, and that did happen, did lead me into Nashville. And also we really talk about dig into music and that kind of creative divergent thought meeting cannabis, meeting creativity, and how many musicians believe that even just the process of creating music, they often describe it as the music went through them and they were like a channel of music. It's coming from some higher place. So it really does fit in with that spirituality of cannabis and stuff. So we do plan to spend a bit of time in Nashville, which is kind of near your neck of the
It is near me. Yeah.
close, a lot closer than here anyway.
Yes.
So, like when we're there, it'd be great to, come back on the show again if you have me and give you an update.
Absolutely. And maybe by then, if things are going well, maybe I could even pop over there and, do a little impromptu show and kind of promote what you're doing and talk about it. And that'd be a fun journey to do, I think.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, yes, let's stay in touch and certainly any way that we can help you get your message out and help continue to get the good words out that you want to get out to people and help them and make them more whole. We want to be part of that journey too, so we're thankful for what you're doing and we see what you're doing and we're here for you.
Thank you, Patrick.
You bet, man.
The whole team.
Hey, man, we're fans here. I'll tell you that, sir. We're fans, Jason. Thank you so much, man. Have a great night, buddy.
Thank you. You too, man.
All right, man.
Good night.
And there you go, man. What do you think?
That was awesome.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, what did you like about what you heard from Jason there, Chad?
Just this whole little journey that he's been on and stuff, man. Like I just didn't really see all that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I didn't see me in that kind of deep.
Yeah, no, it was fascinating to me. As I said earlier before we started, that he really placed himself in a vulnerable position, and as a celebrity, you don't see that very often, and I think that what he's doing and has done is really helpful to a lot of people. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think I can speak for everyone on this panel today. We're all traumatized.
Oh
by
man, the
something.
struggle's
Yep.
real.
I mean, we all have trauma in our lives.
Yep.
Trauma
somewhere.
buddies right here, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
so-
God, we're bonding.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And I thought the part about Robin Williams, that
Oh,
Man,
was really
that's really
unexpected.
sick, man. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It was unexpected to even hear that. I didn't know that. But, man, I mean, talk about validating to have Robin Williams say, yeah, I'm a
Seriously.
fan. I want to be on your show. It's
That's
like,
awesome.
gosh.
what? Wow, man, huh?
I would be speechless.
I know,
how do
right?
you even,
Knocked
like,
down
how
a
do you even
level after
respond
that,
to
man.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would cry.
Yeah, that's one of those actors that, sometimes you lose somebody and you just keep missing them. And that's one of
That's
them.
one I
man.
miss.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is one of those guys that,
Absolutely.
like
Yes.
Charlie Murphy.
Oh
man, I miss that guy all the time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think about him. I know that sounds weird. but
No, not at
regularly,
all.
No,
As
yeah.
a comedian, I think about it. I'm like, man, I wish there was some new Charlie Murphy for me.
Or you
to
see
hear.
something you think, well, Charlie Murphy would have been
Okay,
badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have been great in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
or Robin Williams, the same. So many great folks out there. But that was one of the things I thought about his vulnerability. He point blank said, I've had suicidal ideations. I've dealt
Yeah.
with that. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think that when people are honest like that, it helps anybody who's ever
Absolutely.
had a feeling like that
Mhm.
or dealt with something like that,
Absolutely.
because a lot of us probably at some point or another have felt something akin to that if you
Something.
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah.
And I did my stint.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, a lot of us have. And so what I will say to you, if you have friends who sometimes struggle with that kind of stuff, and I think we all do, if you go a few days and you don't hear from them, just call and check in on them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sometimes it's just, man, sometimes you're in a well.
I got a text
and
from a
you can't
buddy
get
the other
out.
day. I hadn't
Yeah.
heard from him in like 2 years. Haywood, a good buddy of mine, just said, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
dope.
Yep.
That's
I
dope.
love you back. And
Yep.
I hadn't talked to him since. Like,
Yeah, but
just every once in a while, we ain't heard
Sometimes
from
you
each
need
other.
that.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but
he just
so-
shot that out and I shot it back. Like,
Hell
that's
yeah.
awesome, man.
and in that moment, it was just a good feel good moment. But sometimes, when you're down in a well, that could be the tether, that could be
Yes.
the rope
Yes.
that helps you get out of that well.
Right.
And you just don't know.
You don't
So,
never know what someone else is going through.
Yeah, you never know. So if you got, like I said, if you got friends like that, if you have friends that struggle with that, you know who the friend is. Just, when you don't hear from them a couple of days, just reach out. Doesn't have to be over the top. Just be like, hey, just thinking about you, or just wondering, what's going on in your world today, and just look out for that, because sometimes we can all use that here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might not know too, because I mean, like Robin and and Anthony Bourdain. I mean,
Mhm.
those were people that were known to have it all and be happy and all that. So check on your happy friends too.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
Yeah, I mean,
it could be
anybody
a mass.
really. It could
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. It
The
could be.
the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline number is 988. So if you or anybody else needs that,
And I'll tell you what, if you're a veteran,
yes.
you can. We are the 22 is
Hmm.
an organization here locally that works a lot to help folks who are veterans to overcome some of the, those anxieties and issues that come from that. And their name comes from the fact that 22 veterans per day take their own life
It's
on
sad.
average, and that's outrageous. I mean, that's terrible. And so we all can do our part and reach out and be better at identifying our friends that have that need from us, that we can help with. Real quick, let's change gears and do something fun before we get out of here. But man, thanks to Jason Gann again, because
Yeah, that was awesome.
what a great interview. And I do hope that we'll keep connecting with him. Now, tomorrow, a great thing, we're going to have the Arkansas Meadery. Now, if you don't know
Meadery.
about, the Meadery, not meat, not MEAT, Meadery. You know that wine is made from like grapes, fruit, right? Beer is grains and hops. Mead is alcohol made from honey as a
That
base.
sounds really good, man.
It is really good. We're going to do a sampling, try some different flavors, learn about the meadery. It's really going to be cool, and so you'll want to tune in for that. He's got one right here, and it's in liquor stores around here, Arkansas Meadery, but this one's called Hog's Blood. Like the
Is it like a
Razorback.
red? Is it like a red wine or
Yeah,
something?
it is a red, and it's got tart cherry and ginger in it, and it's really,
That is
really
good.
good. But there's several different flavors that they have that you'll be interested in. So, and like I said, we'll learn more about it, how it's made, all the flavors, where to
How
get
it
it.
tastes.
Yeah, how it tastes. We're going to taste it all and see what it's all about. Here's a few just facts today that you can be a know-it-all at the water cooler with. Nearly 27 million Americans eat at McDonald's every day.
Be banking.
27 million a day
Mickey
eat at
D's is
McDonald's.
paid, man.
Think about that. That's just Americans. That's not worldwide. That's just in America.
That's wild.
That's a
That
lot of
app, you
people.
messed
Isn't
That's
it?
a lot
that
of
app,
money.
That's a lot of
that
fries.
app is no joke.
A lot of fries,
That's a
baby.
lot of
Man.
money, man.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I mean, you can get like a free thing of fries almost every day,
Oh,
or,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
or any
yeah.
size for $1 something or whatever. And if you hit that Bryant McDonald's,
That's a good one.
man, that is a good
are a solid
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
It's consistently good.
They're always
The
solid.
fries are
Here's another fact for you to take to the water cooler. I'd never heard this one before.
uh,
Originally, the term movies didn't mean films. It was the people who made them. It was kind of almost a slur for early Hollywood locals who didn't like the people who were invading to make films, and they called them movies. All these movies come into town,
That's
And
weird.
That's how the word originated.
That's kind of
Are you
weird.
mind blown by that one?
my flabbers are gasted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting fact. Isn't it?
Man.
Here's another one for you. A baby can't taste salt until it's 4 months old.
How do they know?
Well, because they're smart. Smarter than we are.
They,
How about that?
they had a focus group.
All right. Here's something that everybody's done. You probably don't know what it's about. In ancient Greece, a dinner host would take the first sip of wine to assure guests the wine wasn't poisoned, hence the phrase drinking to our health.
That's when they cheer. Because they put the cheers and they hit the glasses so everybody's drink goes in each other's drink. And
Yeah.
yeah, same stuff.
Well, in that spirit,
We're so
toasting
smart.
started in ancient Rome when the Romans continued the Greek tradition, but they started dropping a piece of toasted bread into each wine glass to temper the acidity of it. So that's why it was called a toast, because they would actually put a little piece of toast in it.
That sounds disgusting.
It does kind of sound a little bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
It's
your
gonna get
random facts.
soggy. It's going to get soggy. You know what I'm saying? Then you're going to have soggy bread.
Yeah,
That
no,
just sounds-
there's nothing good about
No.
soggy bread.
No.
All right, let's do one more thing, I think, before we get out of here, because this story's kind of crazy, and I think it'll fit in this category.
Uh-oh.
Listen up now, I'll tell you a story. Without a doubt, it's kinda gory. It's the worst news you could ever hear. Things just like this make you fear. Buying lunch on a dumb guy's knee, or a big hard fuck drowning some money. Why you laughing? Why you laughing?
This shit ain't
It could be. It could be.
Oh no, it's hilarious.
Luke's out there killing it, baby.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
he is.
Vantage Ruins. They're getting ready to drop some tracks. I'm stoked about it. This is such a weird story, and it's so now. You know what I mean? 6 college students in New England have been charged after they lured an American military serviceman into the Assumption University campus in a To Catch a Predator style plot.
Hell yeah.
You think so? You think so? You
That's
think
so
so?
funny.
You think so? But wait, the scheme was inspired by something going around TikTok. The 22-year-old victim said he was in the area to attend the funeral of his grandmother. He was on Tinder because he just wanted to be around people who were
Because
happy.
why not?
But Kelsey Brainerd, Easton Randall, Kevin Carroll, Isabella Trudeau, and Joaquin Smith, they're all 18 or 19, and a 6th unnamed student, a minor, were arraigned on Thursday. The sextet is accused of using his Tinder account or the girl's Tinder account to lure their victim to the school in October. Once there, Brainerd walked the serviceman down to the basement lounge where a group of students came out, allegedly grabbed their victim, stopped him from leaving, called him a pedophile. The students accused the man of wanting to have sex with 17-year-old girls. The serviceman was able to break free and escape, but was chased to his car by 25 people, many of whom were recording the chase with their phone, one of whom started punching him in the head. He also filed a police report stating he was scared Brainerd filed a police report saying she was scared because of a sex predator on campus. Now, looking at the security footage, officials said the students were seen laughing and high-fiving as they viewed it as a deliberately staged event. In addition, the cell phone videos were taken and posted online. So Brainerd's Tinder profile said she was 18. No messages exchanged ever talked about the man having any desire to have sex with anyone underage. And the 5 adult students have been charged with conspiracy and kidnapping.
Hell yeah.
Brainerd was hit with witness intimidation, and Carroll charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Good.
So they tried to set a guy to look like a predator and then beat his ass
For no reason.
to video it and put it online, only for it not to even be real.
Morons.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't there enough predators you could whoop their
Thank
ass?
you, you dicks.
I mean, there's plenty of them out there to find. Go find the real ones. They're out there.
They sound like a bunch of
Entitled.
yep.
Yeah.
Yup.
Bunch of little ass
Some little
wipes.
trustafarians.
Little ass wipes. Yeah.
Yeah, probably went to boarding school at some point in their life, or
Not
you know,
the right one.
equestrian
Yeah.
lessons.
Daddy, we thought we were doing the right thing. Yeah, you weren't ass wipe. Go back and play water polo and leave the
Right.
soldiers alone, would you? You jerk off.
Seriously.
Anyway,
Ew.
hey, it has been a great morning.
It has.
Yes.
It's been a great morning. I am thankful to Amanda and Chad for being here. Again, Ark and Brawl coming up this Saturday. Mark your calendars. Make sure you're going to be there. I'll post a picture of my pants soon here in just a few minutes.
That just sounds
Yeah,
horrible.
it does sound
It
horrible,
really does
but
sound
they're really
really
cool.
bad.
Yeah, I didn't say I was going to post a picture of my nude torso. That would be horrible. Anyway, that's going on. And, of course, everything else, go to patrickandthepeople.com, check out the video clips, check out the interviews with other people there. And just thank you guys for keeping it going, being part of this. And we love you very much. We appreciate that you choose time and spend it with us. Have a good one later.
Love you. Bye.
Late.